Yo, what's going on? This is the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, and you're listening to the Sports Jedi Network. You get me?
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Miles Bourne. I just wanted to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me.
Hey guys, this is Elena Black, and you are watching Sports Jedi Network.
This is AJ Francis, and you're with Sports Jedi Network.
What's going on, Sports Jedi Nation? Welcome to a live Sports Jedi weekly wrestling right here on the Sports Jedi Media channel. Of course, I am one of the hosts, BX Sports Jedi Kev, and today we are taking a trip to the entire wrestling galaxy because we've got a massive weekend, one of the biggest Sundays before Football Sunday here for us, and we're going to talk about everything across the professional wrestling, all in predictions. AAA Ola de Calor, WWE NXT Heatwave. We are going to talk about it and everything. We're going to make our picks. We're going to break everything down. We're going to talk about everything that happened on Raw, SmackDown, of course, and TNA. We have specific shows that recaps each individual, so we're not going to get really into the weaves of it, but we'll bring that up. And we're going to get our prediction because our predictions are locked in. The bell has rang, and of course, I'm never alone. I'm always accompanied by my Jedis, and I'm going to go right across the room, the one and only PGH Chris. Buenas tardes.
How we doing? Happy afternoon. Yes, big week tomorrow, big day for professional wrestling. We're going to talk a lot of the stuff. You know, there's a lot of news, a lot of stuff happened before, tomorrow, not just with the product. So like Kev said, you guys can check out our individual reviews. We're going to go heavy on predictions. And I think this is the day you guys all been waiting for all week. You know, especially if you watch the Heatwave shows and the Dynamite Bros, we've been teasing predictions. It's finally here, and I'm ready to talk about it with you guys.
And of course, my third and full of the Sports Jedi, el hombre que da la verdad, que te lo da bien duro, sin chasers, the one and only Haas Knuckle Brew. I got your little Spanglish there, Haas.
That's a good AAA name.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know what time it is. It is time for your weekend wellness check. The Haas cares about your well-being. Me and my Jedis care about your well-being. You know how this goes. Have you washed your ass today? Have you moved your body today? And have you made you some money today? The Jedis here do not want you broke. We do not want you musty. And we want you lean and ready to move. So please be with us while we talk this wrestling. If you need to go work out while you listen to us talk about this, you go do it. Move your body right. But I will tell you, this is all inclusive. This is for men and the women. Do not walk around here being musty. They talk about us bad in the wrestling community. I don't want you like that. I want you to wash your ass and be smelling fresh. So, yes, we care about your well-being. Let's talk about this wrestling. We got predictions. We got news. Sit down, move your body, whatever you ever consume this. Let's enjoy it, everyone. Let's have a good day.
Absolutely. Nobody wants a female smelling like vinegar. All right, let's go. Before we get started, Jedi Nation, you already know what we do. We ask you to smash that like button, subscribe to the Sports Jedi Media, turn up all the notifications, get into the chat, share the stream with your wrestling family, spread the word, because at the Sports Jedi Media, we just don't watch. We talk wrestling, we debate it, we live wrestling, and most importantly, we give the fans a voice. So we want to make sure your voice is heard, make sure you're lock and loaded, and we want to shout out thank you to our sponsor. Our sponsor, we got G Fuel Energy. Go to gfuelenergy.com, use promo code PGHChris and save 20% off all the G Fuel tubs and all the products there. Of course, our main sponsor, Dude Wipes. Save with the Dude Wipes. All capital letters, type Dude, save 20 for 20% off, and Blackout Coffee. Use my promo code SportsJedi20 and save 20% off. Don't forget our Devin and Lang. Use promo code Courtney O'Shea for 15% off. And Wolfpack. I'm going to leave the new affiliate sponsor of Haas Knuckle Brew. Haas, tell us about a little bit about Wolfpack. And we're going to hear a commercial later on, too.
All right, guys. Wolfpack is a luggage, backpack, and apparel company. For anything that you need, the Wolfpack is here for you. And we have a promo code for you. The promo code is Bell Cow Hoss. That's capital BELLCOWHOSS. And everybody knows it's back to school time. If you need to buy your children new backpacks, go to wolfpack.com. Wolfpack.com, WOLFPAK.com. And just to let you know that we're not playing here, I got a couple of things here from the Wolfpack. For all my Batman fans, I got the Dark Knight Edition 35 liter. This is the Wolfpack Performance Backpack. Also, I have a duffel bag for you as well, because you can tell I'm a big Batman fan. This is the duffel right here for you. Batman we got, we'll see, Dark Knight. It has all these here. You can buy separate ones to decorate your bags all the way you want to. We're not playing here at Wolfpack. You need new backpacks. You need suitcases to go around and do your things. Go to wolfpack.com. And also, for my people who love to eat, you see the house loves to eat. Big lunch bags. Yes, big 20-liter lunch bags. You can fit everything in here. All your Tupperware right here at Wolfpack. I can show you a few more things, but we got to talk about some wrestling. I don't want to just be here like the whole shopping network. But yes, we spend our money with our sponsors. We're not here BSing you. We use these things. So go to wolfpack.com. WOLFPAK.com.
Yes, all that link is in the video. So you look at the video description, you're going to have that link. You get all that information. Of course, that is the Haas Knuckle Brew official affiliate sponsor there for the Sports Jedi Network and everything that Haas Knuckle Brew does. So make sure you support. They even have a SpongeBob backpack. If all the little kids going back to school, they have a SpongeBob. They have a Supergirl. They're teamed up with DC products, with the Joker. You saw the Batman, Superman, all that. Even I believe Dragon Ball Z. So they've got some real cool stuff there. I was checking that out. Yeah, I can't wait to purchase a couple of meal preps.
Brand new collection just dropped on Friday, the Power Rangers collection.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, go look at that. And when you go buy that for your children, you go 10% off. Use Bell Cow Hoss.
There you go. There you go. And not only that, all our affiliates are very cool with us. All our sponsors, of course, we always tell you, we always ripe and ready. We're ready with the Dude Wipes. We're ready with all our products. We all got everything going because we appreciate them. And that gets us going. They get us going, man. They get us all right. All right, Jedi Nation. The predictions are ready. The arguments are getting set. The chat is ready. Haas, Breaking Uncle Brew, PGH Chris. I'm ready. So buckle up, strap in, because we're about to travel across the wrestling galaxy. Let's start off with the company that has the biggest show of their brand this Sunday from London, AEW All In. But before I give you all the match card, there made some headlines, some positive news to me. I think I was very happy for them. I've said this many times on our program. I'm not a big enthusiast. I'm not a fan of the company, but I am really genuinely happy for them. I'm going to be honest with you, because they're going to go international, and Grand Slam has been announced for France. There will be France October 6th. That is the Tuesday night. Now they normally, you see them on Wednesday night, but that always around the first week of October, they get preempted and moved over to a Tuesday night because of Major League Baseball postseason. So they use that Wednesday night slot for Major League postseason. They and TBS, and they ask them to be courteous to move over to a Tuesday night. This is where NXT normally has their NXT Mania, where they load up a lot of main roster talent to take on NXT wrestlers. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what a great moment. Of course, we're going to hear from the Dynamite Bros on their reaction, seeing Grand Slam France. I'll go right over to you, to Chris. Tell me about this. How do you feel?
I like it. AEW is expanding more of their international market. They've tested Wembley. Now tomorrow will be 3 times now, so they've kind of gotten that UK market figured out. And I think they just want to expand. I know we talked a little bit about it during our Dynamite review show, and I think Haas made up a good point, which I'll let him talk about later on. But don't be surprised if this is going to be more events out there in France, especially with how good they've been for the WWE. I think they're one of those countries that enjoy wrestling. So like you said, I'm happy for AEW. They're expanding their international market. And I think this is just a test to another country to see if, okay, maybe we could do Japan or maybe we could do something else. So I like it. I do. And Kevin, I love your comment. That comment makes me very happy. Thank you so much for that. But yes, I like it. It's going to be a great show. I don't know where the venue is. Adidas Arena. I know it's obviously there, but I don't know like where it's located or if it's a whatever. So I don't know how the venue is going to look, but it should look pretty cool. And, maybe they can do some cool vignettes near the Eiffel Tower. I don't know. But no, I like it. It's going to help them expand. And I think this is a test to see if they could start expanding international a little bit more than just Wembley.
Yeah, I'm going to give this to us. Imagine them doing a vignette with Dalton Castle and Wee Wee.
Oh, I enjoy this move from AEW. I piggyback on what Chris was saying. They're expanding their footprint across the wrestling landscape because the abroad wrestling fans are so thirsty for the graps. They really want to go to these shows, and they show out in every way. They get to singing these people's names. They get real spirited. You can tell when you watch the broadcast. Their crowds be destroying American crowds, and that's one of the biggest reasons they're expanding, because these people overseas, they love the wrestling. This is going to be a big move for AEW. We're going to anticipate more pay-per-views to be going to these venues. And I said on Wednesday, I really believe that they're going to start marketing their bigger pay-per-views, the all-ins, the all-outs, maybe your Full Gears, maybe even Wrestle Dream. They're going to be abroad because these people, they come and spend their money. They be real spirited on your pay-per-views on the television. And until the American crowds can meet the quota like they do, I really believe AEW is going to move a lot of their bigger shows abroad over the next couple of years. So Americans, get prepared. Like if you're only going to be able to go see Dynamites and Collisions very soon. So just be ready. The House told you first. The Jedi's told you first. Just remember that.
Let me ask that. Let me give you a follow-up. Is that a wise thing for starve out the American crowd for their pay-per-views and maybe, kind of like, well, until I start seeing better response on my weekly television, whether again, it's not about creative and what they're putting out there, which has something to do. It's an oxymoron. Is it wise to starve the American people of a pay-per-view and say, you want these here, I need you to show up on Tuesday and Thursday? It's
a business tactic, Kev. Scarcity. Everybody who's in economics, they know that term scarcity. If the product that you want is in a low number, like with supply and demand, they're gonna be like, okay, they really want this product now. Like, we can go out here, we can sell out these 5,000 to 10,000 seat arenas because they're showing it. They're showing more love now than they do on the internet. Like, they really want us now. So they may come back and do that over here after they do their experiment abroad. But I think that's the business tactic going forward, especially with AEW. They really they want their crowds to mirror what they get over there. When Tony Khan goes to London all the time, he had his test experiment last year in Texas. Texas, it was a nice crowd, but we got Wembley. They went from 80,000 down to 50,000. Now they got 45, right at 45. They couldn't dream of doing those numbers in America right now. That's the vision Tony Khan wants. So I think he's going to get that. Maybe if this company keeps expanding like I think it will, he'll get that by going to France and other places like that.
Yeah, they already tested the Australian market. You've seen that. They've done a Grand Slam in Australia. They now got London. Now they're in France. Maybe something down the line, a market that WWE has not really touched, or the PLE in Japan. Some people would like to see that a pay-per-view going in Japan, especially with all the collaboration with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Something for them to do that, although they do participate around Wrestle Kingdom and some other events there, but a full AEW blown out Japanese pay-per-view, interesting if Tony Khan is willing. The one person that actually will dare to pull the trigger will be Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling. We will find out on that. Let's get right into the All In card because we got some other stuff with AEW, but we'll wait. We'll put that pin on it because I think everybody wants to hear our predictions, especially since I erupted and told you guys or stopped you guys from doing it on your Dynamite show. I said, no, wait, because I wanted to partake with it. So I do apologize for those that turned into the Dynamite Bros because I wanted to partake. I wanted to give my opinions. You know, of course, it's not my cup of coffee, but I do like watching All In from the first one. It looks great on television. It's great to see the fan base come together and celebrate AEW in those shows and that once a year type of program. It's a good thing. It's a celebration for that company, regardless of the fact, because it tells other people, yeah, there is another big time promotion, and it also keeps the feds and TNA on their toes because hey, they do once a year they could put on something where people want to go in, and the significance of All In, the very first one before they became the call letters of AEW, was big to the wrestling the wrestling world and history. So I kind of want to give that up there. Let's go right into this, man. It's your all AEW Trios champion, but this is the one thing that I disconnect with Tony Khan. What's the deal? Why don't you just buy a casino? Everything is casino, gauntlet, title eliminated. I mean, dude, did you go? I mean, he should find an American Indian tribe, get their land, and go and fund a casino, because everything this guy does, he loves all these casinos. We got a casino trio, Royal Roulette. The teams, of course, Hangman Page, Bandito, Brody King, versus the Death Riders, Claudio Castiglione, Pac, and Willow Yuta. The Bang Bang Gang, Jay White, Austin Gunn, Colt Gunn. The Demand, who is, I don't know who wants to see them, but they're in demand. Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Total Leola. The Conglomeration with Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Pocket Pool. Orange Cassidy versus the Dogs, Finley, Connors, Gabe Kidd, and a wild card team. I wonder who will be that mystery, Chris.
It's going to be a new day in AEW tomorrow. I will tell you guys that. It will be a new day in AEW. It's going to be Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Swerve Strickland. Because I think Swerve wants to put a team around, because Hangman's going to be in the tournament, and they'll never seem to end the feud between Hangman and Swerve. So we're probably going to get that to start up. But I mean, I'm just curious to see how much of a slop fest this roulette match is going to go. You have 7 freaking trios tag teams in this match. So what? They're all going to have to climb. It's going to be like a Money in the Bank Royal Rumble. That's the best way I could put it. You're going to have a bunch of people climbing the rings, and you're going to have people coming in and out 5, 10. I think so. I don't really know how this match is going to work, but I'm just going to say Swerve, the New Day, are going to win this match.
You don't think it's going to be like a gauntlet, like 2 team starts, and then once eliminated, the next trios come in? Because that is a lot of men, Chris.
21.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if they're doing the casino, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, that'd be better than the ladder match. So yeah, that probably will be what it is. But that match is going to take forever. Is it going to be a traditional trios match, or is it going to be a tornado trios match?
It's going to be tornado. It has to be tornado.
Yeah, that's another. There's just question. There's this, like, I just don't know how this match concept works.
Help us out in the chat. If anyone in the chat that's watching, if you found out the official rules to this match, drop it down in the comments. We would like to be corrected, because this seems like a clusterfuck, but we want to be right about it. Help us out in the comments if you know the official rules.
Because a gauntlet match will take forever. Like if this is a standard trios gauntlet match, that would take forever. At least a ladder match, and you have people coming in. But again, you can't have 3 people coming at the same time. Like, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. This whole, you could have had 3 trios. You could have had Brodito and Hangman. You could have had another trio that you think highly of, and then had the wild card.
From what I've heard, Chris,
the whole point of this is to have the New Day debut. That is the whole point of this freaking match. You didn't have to overload it with 7 trios teams for one moment.
From what I heard, Chris, this is going to bleed over into the show. They're going to take their time, because they're going to announce the wild card team last. So for the New Day, Daybreak, whatever their name is going to be, that's going to be the first thing that people see on the actual pay-per-view that they paid for. So this is going to bleed into the pay-per-view.
It's one of those shows. It's going to be one of those shows where the pre-show bleeds into the actual show. And
you could see that. He's right.
I could 100% see that. They're probably yeah. So that this might. So you're okay. So this probably will be the only pre-show match then.
Yeah, like the first hour might be just Paul White, Jeff Jarrett, Renee Paquette up there just talking. But the last hour or the last hour 15 is going to see everybody walking in for the gauntlet match and everything. Because it was a big discourse online about this when this news dropped. They're like, "Oh man, they're gonna announce the New Day on the pre-show. Look what AEW's doing. They don't know how to respect legends." And everybody like, "Oh, you don't know you don't know ball. You know what you're talking about." They're gonna be the last team to come out, but they're gonna be the first thing you see on the pay-per-view. It was a big discourse about it on X.
Yeah, it's a fear. It's because they're doing fear of missing out, FOMO. Because you're invested in the pre-show and they're just about the, and if you're on the fence of ordering it, and let's face it, they're gonna do all those men are gonna do different. Everyone's gonna get their spot fest. You're gonna have pocket pool in the middle of the ring. You're gonna do all that stuff with his kicks. You're gonna have all the greatest hits, and then like, oh my god, this is phenomenal for free. And then they're gonna be, who is this mystery? And then they're gonna go and they're gonna make you fear of missing out. They're hoping that you spend the $49.99, $39.99, wherever way you consume it on Amazon Prime, wherever they have it on, and all that stuff. That's what they want to do, and that's gonna work. It's a good tactic for them to provide that if it's gonna be entertaining. So that's how it's gonna go. Here's the one thing I gotta ask: you see the card, you see the full gear on that. I'm no pun intended. Where's the people? Where's the tickle business? They're not there. Are you concerned that the Hurt business are not there?
Yes, I am. This was when I was in All In Texas last year. They were one of the most over acts at that show. The Hurt, everybody loves to sing. We hurt people. We hurt people. They love that song, but yet they have banished them. And I don't want it to sound like I'm bashing Collision because I watch Collision. You never see the Hurt Syndicate on Dynamite. You never see them on there anymore. And if you're gonna start pushing the trios division, you need to add someone to that group and get that fire back going, because it may be over with for MVP as a regular in-ring participant, but the Hurt Syndicate needs to be on both television shows going forth. And you got this big trios match and they're not included. Do you know how much more star power that you're missing out on by not having one of the most over acts? It was just a year ago. These people were popping out of their seats for the Hurt Syndicate. Now you rarely see them. Yes, I'm worried about it.
I got to give one thing though. I got to give a lot of credit, or at least this is a silver lining. At least these men in this gauntlet are all AEW contracted workers. They're not bringing 3 CML folks and not putting the Hurt Syndicate. So I got to give them credit. They're using their roster. A lot of people complain about a bloated roster. They're using it in this pre-show. So I got to give them credit. I got to give them kudos on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the fucking match.
You can't turn a blind eye because on that statement, Aaron, because due to the fact that everybody was going crazy and they were losing their shit when the Hurt business left the WWE. Oh, they're gonna be game changers, and then they're not even. And then a year and a half or 2 years later, they're not even on your biggest show of the year. You can't say, "Oh, I can't worry about the card." You have to ask these questions because and like Kevin said, also no Tekla. So you have to ask these questions. There's our concerns. There's not concerns. I know not everyone could be in the show, but when you go out of the way to make a trios gauntlet with 21 men. You left a lot of important people. You have to question these. You have the right as a wrestling fan to question if you love this product and you're invested in these talents. You have to. You can't just turn a blind eye.
Hey Kev, I give you one more group. Where are the Rascals?
Exactly.
Why are the Rascals not on this show? And this trios match. Why are the Rascals not here? Big free agent that you picked up. Why they the perfect team for a trios roulette royale? Why are they not here?
And they could provide a move sets that you could be like, I know everyone's gonna do their thing, but the Rascals feel more of a. Let me honest with you, the Rascals feel more like they're our natural trios than the champions right now.
I'm surprised that they haven't been belted with those trios, because they go hard every week on Collision. Like when we talk about the Collision Cowboys, the Rascals are example number one about those. They're there every week and they put on great matches.
This is a hot take, just me personally. I think Khan signed the Rascals to say F you to TNA because you're going live and you have more money with the AMC premiere. and I think he signed them to say "F you." I'll just store them, and I have a place for them, but I'm not gonna really give them push. I just took them away from the competition because they had a lot of momentum with TNA and again, this is another. I don't want we want to stay with predictions, but that's just a hot take in my opinion. I think this should open up the match. After they bleed into the the trios. To me, I think it should be the Casino Gauntlet match. The winner earns a future AEW Championship opportunity. So far, we got a few members that are confirmed. Of course, number 1 and number 2, Andrade and MJF. Tommaso Ciampa, Chris Jericho, Mark Davis, and we're going to get more people. You're probably going to get a lot of people's darling crush right now. Maybe we get a debut of Ilya Dragunov. I'm pretty sure the tissues will be in the right hand of someone 206 and others. We might get that there. But this Casino Gauntlet, it's going to be great. I think it's going to be good. It's going to get the crowd going. It's going to get energized to show. But I think this is a match for MJF to win.
Yeah, I agree. I've been waiting for Haas because he has a completely different one. But I mean, I just don't know why we're not getting it. This whole Casino Gauntlet match has been built up on MJF and Andrade. So I expect us to see most of them throughout the match. But I got MJF.
I've never told. I always tell people who I am a big fan of. I got Chris Jericho winning this thing.
I knew it.
I think we're pushing nostalgia. We're pushing nostalgia all over wrestling. I think Chris Jericho is going to win this contract. I think he's going to end up cashing in on the guy who beats Will Ospreay. But because I don't think Will Ospreay is going to have this title at the end of the year. I think he's going to end up losing it to. I'll say that for later. I will say that for later. But yes, I'm a Jerichoholic. I'm drunk off Jericho. Yes, I am. I'm big on Judas. Yes, I got Chris Jericho winning the Casino Gauntlet.
Let me ask this here. Now they weren't specific because Tony Khan makes up his rules. Rightfully so. It's his company. Again, any chance that this is why I say this go first, in my opinion. Any chance that the winner of this contract actually exercise it to that same night as the event ends?
Can't do it. Like you have to give them a week in advance. This is the Tony Khan spin. This is not like Money in the Bank, even though I kind of wish it. I kind of wish.
Let me ask this, Haas. Mm-hmm. Was that said again? Was that said recently? Because they have AEW loves to copy from the Men in Black with the neuralizer to their fan base. Look at the light and boom.
Oh, they did. They started last year with MJF because it would fit the MJF motif if he won that contract. To cash in whenever. He's the chicken shit heel. He would cash in when you're in the bathroom taking a shit. So they want to be able to promote the match like a big time match. So it has to be a 1 week in advance. So none of those quick cash ins.
Okay. All right. So you say no, Chris. You say no.
Yeah, I think they did that with Christian Cage too. I think
I'm the only one that's gonna say they're gonna change it. I think that gets cashed in that night. I think that gets in. I think they're gonna change it. I think they're gonna neutralize her. Hey, I'm the only one on the island. I'm gonna be different.
I can't. I don't disagree.
I hope you're right.
I just think the ego on Tony Khan will not allow him to let the people talk about him through the discourse like that. Like, oh, look at you. You changed something. Now you went back to the WWE way. No. I think Tony Khan has too much of an ego to go back that way.
Right, you guys. That's why you guys are the Dynamite Bros and review it. That's why I'm only a casual and watch it from afar. But I'm gonna go on a different. I think he's gonna try something different. I'm just gonna go on that. Here's one thing that I have a little bit of a problem, a little bit of a disconnect. You want to give Omega this? You want Omega the world? Your main event, Omega and Ospreay. You want them to have the big highlight. That's your big cheese, your big main event, your big dog, the money maker. That's gonna draw people into Wembley to 45K. Mm-hmm. I don't get why the hell is MJF carrying the world title around. It's not like he was injured and he had to relinquish it and someone won it. He lost it fair and square in Beach Break. You got pinned, brother. I don't get the gist. I don't get the way he's just shitting on these two men for the world title picture with him even contemplating wearing that title and calling him the OTC bullshit. All that is showing rent-free. And that company, this is the problem with All In Wrestling. They have a lot of rent-free people in their head. And I don't like it for MJF. MJF is the biggest draw in that company. Yes, he's the needle mover. He is the big guy that moves it. But I don't like what he's doing to the world title. He's diminishing your current champion and your main event by doing that.
I hope this isn't some backstage shit. I don't even want to put that into existence because I don't know. I feel like there's something backstage going on that we don't know about. I don't know. I'm just keeping it at that.
You know, I've been saying it for weeks. I really believe it. Like, I think it's a lot of petty business going on. And I always say petty does not look good on men, but when men get petty, it looks real nasty when it happens. So this is what petty looks like. This could be a work. We could be getting work brothers. But I honestly believe that there's a little friction between MJF being pushed out of the main event for Wembley with Will Ospreay. I don't think Kenny Omega, I don't think he did anything with this. I think this was a Will Ospreay call. I could be completely wrong. But why would it would explain a lot. Why you calling yourself the one true champion when you have this championship bout that's being so ballyhooed by this company? It just seems it screams petty to me. It just screams petty.
I think Tony thinks that Ospreay is gonna like change the foundation of AEW, or he thinks like, or he wants to finish the. Well, I think Will wanted to have the match with Kenny to finish their trilogy. Again, I'm not proving any of this to be true. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, you're giving your point of you're putting your point of
just from what I've seen on TV. I don't believe that MJF was ever hurt. I think that is complete bullshit. He wrestled great at Beach Break. I think the match was I think the finish had to be changed during Breach Break time because he was feuding with Will Ospreay before him and Kenny had the match. Hoss, we talked about it when they went out before their match in that backstage segment when they were in the back and they slapped each other and they had that brawl before
MJF spit on him. Exactly.
Why didn't I think they changed they had to change something because that right then and there looked like we were going to get MJ and Will Ospreay or MJF and Will Ospreay, excuse me, at All In. I think it was changed. It had to be. I still don't know why we couldn't get a fucking triple threat, but hey, that's a different conversation. But yeah, there has to be some backstage shit going on. I don't know what, but there has to be.
So could you think that was him retaliating? Like, all right, I had to drop the title due to some politics. Guess what? I'm gonna come out with my triple B. Is that him taking that creative liberties?
If Tony Khan was going to politic to somebody, why isn't he politicking to his biggest fucking draw? Why isn't he politicking to MJF? That's the one person, if you're going to politic to, you should be politicking to. What is Will? Again, this is coming from a massive Will Ospreay fan. You can go back and check my Twitter from years ago, before he joined AEW full-time. I loved Will Ospreay, still do. What has he done for AEW in the way that MJF has had for Tony Khan to be catering to what the fuck he wants? Not a damn thing. But MJF gives you the highest rated pay-per-view buys left after right. Again, I don't want to go too much in that because the match is already happening tomorrow, but it makes no fucking sense to me.
Now, could it remember, Kenny Omega's an EVP. And
that is another problem.
That could be an issue because he knows he's retiring or not. He doesn't have an official date. I'm retiring XYD, but he knows that the sun is setting. It's not a lot of matches in him, and then the high level maybe. And rather than going out there and looking embarrassing in a world title picture, he's in great shape. He's still got a lot of juice in the tank, but not a lot. He's got about a quarter tank left. Do you think that has to do with it as well? And he does got a little more veto power from MJF, regardless of what's best for business. But maybe this is what's happening, and you know, a lot of people. I think can we fair to say it's like 60-40 in favor of this match, and the 40% are what we think is the best business is MJF versus Will Ospreay. You think the sickos are divided that way?
No, I don't think so at all. I think the sickos want this match ad nauseum. They really love the graps,
yes.
And they want Omega Ospreay. I think your pure wrestling fans want MJF to be involved, but just sickos at large, they're popping their pants for Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. They want to see Will kick out the one-winged angel, which is going to happen. That is not a prediction. That's a spoiler, in the words of the other Pissant company. But yes, that's going to happen. We're going to see multiple V-triggers. We're going to see multiple hidden blades. The sickos are so ready. They have multiple clothes ready. They have their popcorn ready. They got pizza we're still a day away. They are heating up their pizza rolls right now as we speak. The sickos love this match. They cannot wait.
Right. Well, we'll talk about that main event in a short, briefly there. Let's get right into the next matches. Your AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship, which something has been built maybe since March. Or we knew that all fingers were pointing to this final match. We're finally here months later. Regardless if the build was exciting or not exciting, we have the current tag team champions, Divine Dominion. That's Megan Bayne and Lena Cross taking on the challengers, the Brawling Birds or the Brawling Broads, and Jamie Hayter versus Alex Windsor. Your thoughts, PGH Chris? Who's winning this match?
I think the Brawling Birds are going to win this match. They're going to win this match. I think Lena Cross might take the pin. Don't know what's next for those two, but yeah, it's gonna be for the Brawling Broads to go out at Wembley Stadium victorious in their home country.
I think we're on agreement. Haas, your thoughts?
This is the most predictable match on the card. The Brawling Broads are going to go over, but I will give this. I think the aftermath is going to be the finish is going to be between Lena Cross and Megan Bayne. They're going to hit each other some kind of way. It's going to be some kind of cartoon type screwball shit. They're going to run into each other. It's going to be something silly. They're going to look very stupid, but they're going to be mad at each other because I think Megan Bayne gets pinned because Lena Cross ends up super kicking her or something. And then next thing you know, the Haterade knocks out Lena Cross and we get the pin there. But yeah, like I said, most predictive match on the card. And I believe that the Divine Dominion will be breaking up tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was going to ask that as a follow-up question. Let me since you put that out there, let me ask this here. Any chance, maybe any small slim chance, Brawling Birds win, there is no hitting your partner or them breaking up, and they bring in Nikki Cross with the Brawling Birds because they're in England and they're in London and get that pop where she comes out and joins AEW and she's like a third member of the Brawling Birds, and just to get the pop or just to come out and help out, and then that's something that plays out on Dynamite.
I don't really see her coming to AEW.
I asked the question. I don't think so either. I just wanted to ask that as a fair question there because you know, there's going to be a lot of people showing up here tonight, tomorrow afternoon, whether they sign with the company or a one-off, and that's a kind of name that will get the crowd going and get there. And Tony Khan likes that. He get and the fans are going to get excited with that. They wrestling shows for them is always great when they get a newcomer or someone new from another company just show up for a minute or two. Ooh, it makes the show now. The extra star rating goes up on their they start rubbing the left nipple instead of the right. But yeah, so we'll find out if that's something.
Kev, I will say if they want to go with that angle with the idea that you got going, it really would depend if Penelope Ford is healthy enough for any in-ring action. If Penelope Ford came back at the end of this match after Divine Dominion loses and attacks Lena Cross and affiliates herself with Megan Bayne again, to say you took my spot, you
make better sense because that's more related to storyline.
But the thing about it, Tony Khan may have forgot about this woman, so there's no telling.
That's true, but man, I mean, who could forget about Penelope Ford? Yum.
Not me.
It's easy to forget about Kip Saban, but not about her.
Oh, Megan Bayne hasn't forgotten about Penelope Ford.
Can't forget about your mouthpiece. Can't forget about her.
There you go. All right, we'll definitely go there. We got AEW Continental Cup Challenge. You got the champion of the Continental Championship, Jon Moxley, taking on the home country favorite in Nigel McGuinness. This is where you go. You get your afternoon snacks. You go get a refill on the nachos. You may get a dew wipes, courtesy flush, a little bit of a break, walk around. Who do you like here? Do the champion retains and hoists the cup, or do we get a new Continental Champion in Nigel McGill?
I mean, you said this is the most. You said the Brawling Birds are the most predictable. When you got Moxley on the card, you know who's winning. Jon Mox. I mean, I don't think they're going to give Nigel McGuinness a win here. I think this is just to get him on the card for Wembley. I think Moxley's going to have that until the Continental Classic.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this because this could really change the way AEW views anyone who holds their biggest belt. Because if Nigel McGuinness wins, this is a 50-year-old announcer that part-time wrestles. If he goes in there and he pins Jon Moxley, who hasn't lost at all this year, he goes there and loses to a guy on one leg that's 50 years old that's been announcing. You are burying your champion 4 times over. Jon Moxley has won the AEW World Championship 4 times. He's the only guy distinctly who's held the belt that many times. And he goes in there and loses to Nigel McGuinness for a mid-card title and a cup just for a feel-good story. You are burying your talent. I stand on that. This cannot happen. And I'm the one that says Moxley Hogan. Jon Moxley must go over. It only makes sense. Like if you had Kyle O'Reilly or someone here for Nigel McGuinness to pin, sure. Have Nigel win, feel good story. He cannot pin Jon Moxley because you're gonna try to sell me later that Jon Moxley is gonna beat Will Ospreay for the belt. Allegedly, assuming that Ospreay wins. I will not believe that Jon Moxley deserves to hold that belt again if he can't beat a 50-year-old cripple. I'm just being serious.
No, I hear you. I think the match would have been nicer. That they didn't put him in the Continental Cup Classic anyway. Maybe a Bobby Lashley versus Jon Moxley, or you could even had Brian Cage, part of Don Callis, any member of the Don Callis family. Especially they have had issues and beef throughout the course of Dynamite, run-ins here and there. It would have been okay. Don Callis out there with one, although you can't have anyone out there because they ban everybody from mixed up. But one of Don Callis's persons, many of the men that he has there. But like you said, Nigel McGuinness, I know he's a hometown guy, and you want to get the hometown, but you already got the Brawling Birds in there. You got the main event. You got one of the home country main eventers, so forth. Yeah, I feel a little bit of disconnect there with Nigel, and hey, maybe he's putting over the youth. Jon Moxley does the job and put over the youth of tomorrow night.
Kev, I'm gonna tell you this. Like we might as well have bring the Undertaker gimmick back, because if Nigel McGuinness wins this match, he would have buried CMLL in their world champion. And he's gonna be burying Jon Moxley in the Continental Championship and starting off the Continental Cup in the worst way. Because you're gonna tell me that the guy who's holding the first ever Continental Cup is a 50-year-old man who cannot move his left leg or right leg. I don't know which leg he's selling these days. His ankle is broken or halfway broken. He appears skipping in matches, and you're telling me that he beats a 4-time world champion? Bad taste, bad move. It'll piss me off as an AEW fan.
All right, we shall see. We'll hop along to the next match. Hopefully, Nigel can hop along to the match. We'll get right into this. AEW TNT Championship. This one is Falls Count Anywhere. It's the Jet, Kevin Knight, taking on Darby, the Pendejo Allen. Who do you like, Chris?
It should be Kevin Knight. I think they're going to give it to Darby Allin. I think he's going to become a TNT champion again. Maybe have a little bit of a longer run than he did with his AEW world title, but to me, Kevin Knight has, not saying Darby's going to do anything with it either, but Kevin Knight's TNT title run hasn't really, he's defended it a lot. Don't get me wrong on that, but I'm not feeling it. I don't like him in a faction where he just doesn't feel like the main player when he kind of should be.
Yeah, let me ask this. All right, let me ask this to both of you. I'll go to Carson. And can Kevin Knight survive Darby Allin style?
Yes, he can. If they really want to build a story here, this is just me wishful thinking. Kevin Knight should win, and Steve Borden. They've introduced a new character here. They've introduced Sting's son. It should be either his fault that Darby loses, or it should be he's the reason that Darby wins. Stephen Borden should be the biggest part of this match if you want to put someone over. Because I'm taking Kevin Knight for the win, because I feel like he has more to gain with the TNT Championship, more so than Darby Allin. Because if Darby gets this belt, he's already been a world champion this year. there's nothing else for him to gain. He's a made man in AEW. Kevin Knight still has more things to do in this company. Unless you're going to move him up to a bigger belt, which he's been talking about Jet 2 belts for the longest, but I still don't see him having that belt anytime soon. So unless he's going up to international or continental, he has to hold his TNT belt a little bit longer till they give it to someone who actually needs it to elevate their up the card. So yeah, I got Kevin Knight for the win. But Stephen Borden is going to be the biggest player in this match.
I hear you. I heard he has a new ring name. I thought Pendejo the Third. Yeah, so Pendejo the Third. And I think I could see Darby Allin and him teaming up and call up Pendejos as a tag team in AEW. I can see that. We'll move on. We'll move on there. Let's go. AEW International Championship. Kyle Fletcher. Everybody likes to say that name. It feels like everybody has that tip to them. They just say Kyle Fletcher. Konushige Okada. Takeshita versus Katsushige Okada. Yeah, I tried to say that 3 times. My question is to you guys. It's a triple threat title match. Perfect opportunity for a surprise champion. The question, does Fletcher retain? Does Takeshita win? Or does Okada take the international championship? I'm going to go right to you, Haas. Who do you like?
I hate to say this. It's going to be the Rainmaker. I think Okada gets his belt back, and he's gonna pin his family member, Kyle Fletcher, for the win. I think Takeshita gets knocked out somewhere in between there, and then Fletcher is going to end up eating a Rainmaker for the L. And Okada, we're going to get Okada Takeshita 3 out of this. So I got Okada for the win.
I like what you're talking about, Chris. Let me hear your thoughts.
I love that. I'm kind of the opposite. I think I would get Takeshita pinning Fletcher. Fletcher goes to do something else, and then that's how we get. And then something happens in the pin, or something between Okada and Takeshita, and they have their match again, with Takeshita being the champion.
I love both of your men's analogy and your thoughts.
That's just that's a biased answer, by the way.
That's fine. Remember, Kevin Knight has a little bit of issue with Fletcher. Like, they've been teasing that. They've been throwing a little bit of a breadcrumbs there. That's why I don't think Fletcher wins. To me, I think I could go with either one of you gentlemen, where it's Okada winning it or even Takeshita, and that and you're somehow you're gonna get the third match between Okada and Takeshita, and I think Kevin Knight and Kyle Fletcher are gonna have some strife that's gonna play out on the weekly television. So either one, I have to pick one. I'm gonna go with Okada too, because I think Tony Khan loves Okada, and I think he's gonna put that title on him, and it's better for Takeshita to beat Okada again for that title. And it's just, especially if Okada is on the back 9 of his career, you want to still put the next Japanese megastar in Takeshita. And yes, he is a megastar, ladies and gentlemen. I think Takeshita has the it factor to be a major Japanese superstar in America. So yes.
I personally think this match, I'm looking forward to this match. I think on paper, this match looks like it's going to be the best match of the night.
Yes,
including your main event.
Yeah. Everybody's picking this to be the showstopper and the show stealer. But I will say this at the end of this match: Kyle Fletcher is going to be elevated to the main event after he takes this L, because I think Kyle Fletcher is going to be the main foil for Will Ospreay in the future. They brought the Don Callis family back for a reason for this. So I think Kyle Fletcher's being groomed to be the guy to unseat Ospreay unless something else happens in the future. But that's my prediction. We're going to talk about it later in the future. But I think Kyle Fletcher is going to be the guy that's going to unseat Will Ospreay in the future
if he wins the title. Yeah, we'll move on. We'll go right to the next match. Is your AEW Women's Champion. Now, there's been some news, some report. Willow Nightingale has a head injury. I don't know if that's going to affect the match, if she's cleared, not cleared. I don't know. Right now there's a lot of smoke in the air, not just from Wembley Stadium. If you know, with that fire that broke out near the arena yesterday afternoon. But there, I don't know if that was the AEW's pyro trying to test out the pyro, and they almost burned the stadium down. But I'll get back on track here. Willow Nightingale with Mercedes Moné. This is a perfect opportunity for a new champion. Wembley prediction: does Mercedes Moné leave Wembley with another title, Chris?
Yeah, I think she was leaving Wembley no matter what. I don't think it matters if Willow Nightingale's cleared or not. She's going out there. Tony Khan says she's going out there and wrestling. So she'll have her hand wrapped up pretty good there. I think it's like her left wrist or something. It's pretty fucked up. But I think it's going to should be an okay match. I just think Mercedes was going to get the win anyway. I mean, I don't think Willow was really hurt from the beginning, and they made space for her to go in the Owen. I think this is just this is for her. This is for her to. I hope she has a good match because she had an okay match with Tony last year. It was good. I'll say that. But the build, like Haas said before, it wasn't that great. And then I thought her match with Britt Baker at her first Wembley sucked. So I'm hoping she has a good match at Wembley because I've been at all three of them now. One and not all three of them haven't treated her well. So I think she's gonna win.
Guys, I think this is. I know Kevin earlier wrote in the chat. Kairi Sane might come out for the tag team title. This is where you see Kairi Sane, I believe, come out at the end. And Mercedes and Kairi Sane, and that they tease that she wins the title and tease that the fans will go ape shit. You do tend to forget that Willow lost. Oh my God, because Willow is a beloved babyface for all the women's division. Period. This is where you get a Kairi Sane. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Storm makes reemerge and resurface, but I think it's more Kairi Sane.
Kev, you just stole my thunder there. I was going to say something about Tony Storm, but let's go come after my prediction. I have Mercedes starting her reign of terror tomorrow. It's time. It is time. She's won the Owen 2 times in a row. And with Willow, it pains me to say this, Willow's going to be the transitional champion, and I don't even think she's going to get a rematch. I think their story has been exhausted. We've seen multiple matches with them already, and to me, their matches are not legendary. They're just fine. They're fine matches. The finishes leave a lot to be desired, if that makes any sense. None of their finishes ever make me happy. I will say this: the New Year's Eve or New Year's Smash finish, when she actually hit the Dr. Bomb on Mercedes and won, that was satisfying. But other than that, the rest of them, like Schoolboys and all that type of stuff, I'm not a big fan of that. But I think Mercedes taps Willow out. Well, it's gonna put that crossface on. Which one is that? Is that the statement maker or the bank statement? Yeah. Which move is that?
No, the statement maker. Bank statement belongs to the feds.
Okay. Well, she's gonna put that statement maker on her. That's gonna probably be the story of the match. Can she put it on Willow? It's gonna probably take 2 or 3 times. That last time that's gonna make Willow tap. It's gonna make the people cry because a lot of people love Willow. But let's get this reign of terror out of the way. You pay Mercedes Moné a lot of money. It's time for her to be the queen of this division. No more of the unbelted one. It's time to put the belt on her. But I will say this: when she's doing her little shimmy dance, doing the CEO, timeless Tony Storm comes out, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, here comes Tony!" And she's gonna be the specter of the women's division. You will not get that match this year. You will get that match maybe at Revolution or maybe a Double or Nothing next year. They're going to make you wait for it. We're going to get some long-term booking here. I know that's very tough to hear in AEW these days, but we're going to get some long-term storytelling in the women's division. It's all going to be moving to Tony Mercedes Part 2. But yes, Mercedes goes over, and people are going to be mad that Willow does not get a rematch.
Let me ask this question though. I know Tony Khan is very impatient because a billionaire, when they got money, they're gonna get it now. They're not gonna wait like us that we have to work and we have to work overtime if we want to do anything in life for extra cash for indulgence. Wouldn't this be great where Mercedes does one of her cringy celebration and then gets interrupted either by Kairi Sane or even by Tony Storm, because everyone's gonna talk about how great All In was. And the AEW fans, they won't be talking it on Sirius satellite radio, but my point is they'll be talking about it. That All In was great. All In was really good. It was a good show, and there's going to be a buzz because they say they never do a good follow up after a pay per view. You know that time and time has proven it. But if you do that where Tony Storm returns, and now you have a talking point for people to tune in because they just popped a great rating for the Go Home show, almost 800,000. That Haas gave us the numbers earlier before, on the pre-show on our production meeting, and they want to continue momentum. Hey, All In was good, and last week they had almost 800,000, and then we got the follow-up show, and then you have a Tony Storm puts it over the edge. Wouldn't it better save it for Dynamite, or do you think you still want that optic and that visual from Mercedes winning it All In and Tony taking that thunder away from that?
Kev, I'll say this: we'll say it is a Kairi Sane coming. They would save that for Dynamite the following week because, after everyone wins the belt, they have a celebration ceremony. It's always a celebration ceremony. They would use that for Kyrie to introduce Kyrie Sane or whatever her new name would be to just massacre Mercedes while she's out there doing a little dance. Like if Toni Storm does come back tomorrow, you just gonna get a great visual of her because she's beloved in England as well. So you'll get that great visual, but she's not even gonna attack Mercedes. She's just like, bitch, you see me. It is what it is. So if Kyrie Sane does come, they will leave that for Dynamite.
So it all depends on which talent. I totally respect that. I like how you showed the math and you showed the work there. I like that. Toni Storm is the better one because people will tune in to Dynamite because Toni Storm is back, even though it was just her saying I'm still here, I haven't gone anywhere. And yeah, people will tune in on Wednesday because they if you didn't buy the pay-per-view, you missed out Toni Storm. And of course, the Gooners are going to tune in and want to see her, see how big is her caboose, if she lost any weight or anything, all that. So yeah, I get that. I you know what, you make great points. That's why I love having these debates and these conversations with you gentlemen on there. We'll move on we got 2 more matches here before we get into yes, I see you there with the AAA. We'll be breaking AAA as well as Heatwave. So yes, that's right. And we're not ignoring your comments. It's not on topic. We want to stay with the topic, but we'll be addressing that immediately as soon as we're done here with this All In, and then we'll go right into Ola de Calor. It's your AEW Tag Team Champions, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, taking on the Young Bucks, of course, Matt and Nick Jackson. Who are you guys like? This is one of the best debated matches because of the multi-logic directions. Do Copeland and Christian retain, or the Young Bucks reclaim the Tag Team Champions yet again, Chris?
I think Cope and Christian, because I don't want to say Edge and Christian. I don't want to get Hoss to hit me with that bat like you did on our Dynamite review show. Cage and Cope, I think they're going to retain. I don't see the longevity, the point of the Young Bucks to have another tag team title reign. I think Edge and Christian could hit me with the fucking head with the bat, Hoss, because I'm gonna keep saying that. It's just stuck in my head. I think Edge and Christian they have a little bit more to do with the tag team titles. They could, with the New Day coming in, they could still do something with the New Day. There's still a bunch of tag teams there that I don't think what they've completely done with the Dogs, it's completely done yet. And I still want to see something with them and the Guns. So I think there's a little bit more to be done with Cage and Cope as tag team champions, and I think the Young Bucks, I think their time is coming to an end slowly too.
Haas.
I agree with my Dynamite brethren. I think Cage and Cope go over because Tony Khan wants his TLC match. When that TLC match comes to fruition, that is when Cope and Cage will lose. That's what I think. We're still waiting on FTR to finish their negotiations.
Oh, I forgot about them.
We're gonna have they may come back tomorrow. You might see them back tomorrow.
They're in London already, so they're there.
I forgot about that.
They were on the Rev Pro show. They had them there. They were wrestling on the Rev Pro show, so they're in London.
So yes, I believe this is gonna be the big way we're gonna go about it. We're gonna get a Young Bucks Cope and Cage rematch. You're gonna add FTR. You might add the Motor City Machine Guns, and if just for shits and giggles, whatever the New Day's name is gonna be, you put them in there too. We're just gonna have a big Donnybrook or a TLC match about a bunch of old men out here doing crazy shit. But yes, that's future down the line. But I have Cage and Cope retaining.
Let me ask this: any chance? Because we all know in that trip, in that trios, we're all assuming it's New Day and Adam and Swerve. Any chances FTR and someone else there, and then at the end of this match we have the New Day come out and then we go, oh damn, this is where this is where actually fits better for the New Day to come out, or where their name's going to be in the tag team, because if you're not bringing Big E, it's a moot point for them to be in trios. This is actually naturally this will fit. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Do we see any of that or no?
Go ahead, Chris. You got something?
I mean, I personally I know Big E is obviously not there. They would be with Swerve most likely. I kind of like Xavier and Kofi in a trios, I think, to start, and I think FTR coming back in the tag team just because Cage and Cope did beat FTR for those titles, and there is still that unfinished business going on there. And I like Haas said, if you want the triple threat, or the TLC match, I think FTR is going to be that 13.
All right, but been there, done that. New Day's a new fresh coat. Like this again.
Kev, I'm with you on this, Kev. I would go a big swerve, and pun intended here. I would have Swerve in the Hurt Syndicate be in the Roulette Royale match, and then the winner of Cage and Cope and the Bucks. I would have the New Day debut right there, and that would be a nice long-term program going into All Out or maybe even to Wrestle Dream. It'd be a great way to do it because you'd be like, man, you really pulled the wool over our eyes. We thought it was going to be the New Day in that trios match. You could go that way, and I wouldn't be mad. You might piss a sicko off here there, but they'll be fine. They got more matches. They'll be just
and then
fine.
You don't have to say laugh out loud. They put them in the pre-show. Because everybody's thinking they're gonna goof, they're gonna shit on it and goof on it, but you got the Hurt Syndicate. People are gonna forget it immediately. Like, oh man, that's cool. The Hurt Syndicate is there. What's going on? Rams fan is in the building. Salute Rams fan.
And the Hurt Syndicate fit better with Swerve. Cause I'm like, you got you some mercenaries. They're gonna go kick some ass,
and they're really gonna go kick ass when you see all those 3 men together and 4 with MVP. You know they're gonna go kick someone's ass. You don't want to fuck with those people.
Yes,
I like that. And then the New Day comes out, and then
surprised.
And me too, but let's indulge a little bit here.
But let's say I love it.
Wednesday night when you give the microphone to the New Day and explain why their mission statement is there and they could come and say that we have been one of the greatest tag teams in this generation. Then you can have FTR return on Wednesday night, and and go, excuse me, you guys think you're the best one? No, and then you can have the return of FTR, the New Day's here, and then the tag team division gets a lot of buzz. Speaking because you've got your current tag team champions, you got this here, you got this, and then you got machine guns and all that. It gives a lot of talking points about All Elite Wrestling. But again, we're indulging. We're just having that conversation if that were to happen that way. But it looks like it's going to be paint by numbers where we're going to get them in the pre-show and so forth. But you know who I think is going to win? I think the new Bucks, the Young Bucks are going to win, because if the Young Bucks are going to welcome in the New Day, I think they rather drop it to the New Day because of all the up, down, all that nonsense, and say, hey pals, thank you for calling here. Let's put on some good matches, and kind of like, hey, a welcoming committee for the Bucks dropping the titles to them. I think Cope looks like he's finished. I don't think he's going to wrestle more, but man, he looks like he's moving really, really tough. He doesn't look good out there. You could tell that the ending of the journey for Copeland is arriving. So I think that's why they'll drop the titles.
I've been hearing rumors that Copeland, he wants to keep really going till they go to the Tokyo Dome next year. Because he really wants to wrestle in the Tokyo Dome. He's knocking off venues, like he was in Arena Mexico for Grand Slam. He really enjoyed that. He wants to knock off some venues, and he wants to wrestle in the Tokyo Dome. So they're going to have a show there in January. I think it's Wrestle Kingdom, or either AEW is going to have a paired show with them over there. I don't know which one, but they say Cope wants to really go wrestle over there.
And rightfully so. He's a legend in this business, Hall of Famer in all across wrestling. So why not? Why not there? All right, main event time and we're going to get into Ola de Calor and Heatwave. We get this time the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega versus the Owen Hart winner Will Ospreay. Does Ospreay finally become AEW World Champion at Wembley, or does Omega continue his reign? But we want to also acknowledge that thanks to Aaron, who watches everything, Kyle Newman will be in Will Ospreay's corner tomorrow. This was Will Ospreay asked Newman to apologize to Newman and asked Newman to be in the corner of the title match on Repro, and Kyle Newman has accepted to be in the corner. So now we know that Kyle Newman, hello Newman, will be in the corner of Will Ospreay. Does it change your prediction, Chris?
No, I don't think Callum Newman, or if that's his name, I don't think he's going to have any type of influence in this match. He's going to be out there waving the Will Ospreay flag. Will Ospreay is going to win. This has been his tournament to win. This whole event is built around Will Ospreay winning this championship. It's going to be a great match, 5-star match, great match, all that stuff that everybody, the internet, like to say. I got Will Ospreay, and I really don't see another outcome other than that.
Bless your heart, Chris. Haas.
Kev, you have convinced me. I'm going to the outside. And this has a lot to do with the Callum Newman news. Shout out to Marie Shadows. She has smartened me up on some of the United Empire lore. So they have beef. They have friction over in the UE. And I think Callum Newman is going to cost Will Ospreay this title. I'm telling you, I've been smarting up on some UE lore, and I'm buying completely into it. I think Tony Khan wants to create some drama going into the rest of the year. I think he's heard the noise from people that talk about the show every week. I think he wants to create some intrigue. All this feel-good story for Will Ospreay and all that. You can get the title a little bit later down the road. We are going to keep continuing with Kenny Omega, and we're going to have a title. Well, not even a title match. We're going to have a big beef between New Japan and AEW, between Callum Newman and Ospreay for UK supremacy. So, yes, I have Kenny Omega winning the title, being this sinister, crazy heel that he's become. Give me Kenny Omega.
By the end of the night, a lot of people are going to be like, Newman.
Yes, you're right, Kev. You're right.
This is, to me, I think they did this. I knew, I had a feeling that Ospreay wasn't going to win. I knew it. I had that feeling. I think this cemented even more when he opened his mouth on Ariel Helwani and that other podcast where he got a lot of shit backlash from the IWC. Dude, you're supposed to be promoting the biggest show of the company, where there is now, you cannot talk that on any satellite radio or any radio shows anymore about AEW build of anything. You know, WWE put the kibosh on Busted Open and all the shows. You can't really get anyone to talk about it. They're very limited to where they could promote. So they go on these different podcasts, and of course, Ariel Helwani's great, but he's rent-free. And kudos to Ariel for bringing that out of him. He should have just avoided that question. Rent-free about the feds. And then he goes on and talks about The Rock will never main evented a Wembley Stadium. Dude, talk about the show. Forget about everyone else. Forget about your grind. Forget about going to WWE, not going to WWE. Who cares right now? You're all elite wrestling. The fans, the sickos want you to be the face. People are foaming in the mouth for you to be the world champion. And then the promos aren't great to begin with. And then you go on, you stepped on it outside of the wrestling business. What kind of ambassador is that? You didn't really you really didn't put over the company. Talk about me. Khan is a little ego. Now Khan Newman is going to be in the corner. Like you said, I see a fuck finish. Newman is going to screw him. It should have been Moxley. That would have been the perfect
Thank you.
line.
I wanted to let you finish.
That's what I mean, Chris. Me and you are lockstep. And even
I wanted to let you finish that. Why are we having Callum Newman interfere with the match when Moxley and Ospreay has been the thing on build?
That's why we make a great.
That's
team,
why I laugh when people say Callum. Like, I mean, it could definitely happen. I'm not laughing that you guys are predicting that. It could definitely. I'm laughing at the idea of that actually fucking happening.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. No one cares about the United Empire and New Japan anymore.
That's a cheap out because they don't want Moxley to be the heel. They already dislike the Death Riders holding the title for X amount of months without showing it. Moxley is sometimes kind of a fan favorite at times, or he's redeeming. They'll put the blame on Newman, and you know what? Oh, boo, New Japan.
And what are they gonna do? And what are they gonna do with him? Not a
I know,
fucking
Chris.
thing.
I know.
Oh, Chris, you know what this is. Tony Khan is trying to get Newman to come over to AEW. No,
for what?
Why not? He picks off all of New Japan's talent anyway. This is what he does.
The other New Japan talent he picked up were actually names. Who the fuck is this guy?
He's the new young guy in New Japan.
Yeah. He's their new lamb. He's their new lion.
Then I am then you know what? I am so out of the loop with New Japan because I did not know that. Is this guy? Are we talking? Is this guy the next Tanahashi? Is he the next Okada?
They view him. Chris, they view him like a Javon Evans. How WWE fans, NXT fans, Javon Evans got the great future in the wrestling business. Javon Evans is going to be, when he gets bigger, older, stronger, in a few years, he'll be headlining WrestleMania. That's what they see in Kyle Newman. That's the equivalent of Javon Evans.
Because he already held their biggest belt this year. I think he just got it back not too long ago. Aaron, let me know. Let me know in the chat. I know you know. Let me know. I know Callum Newman. I think he lost it to Suji earlier. I think that's his name, if I'm saying it correctly.
I've actually heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, we got to shout out our girl, Marie Shadows, Square Circle Podcast, Marie Shadows, Tape Studies, all New Japan Pro Wrestling, anything that has to do with that. I want to give her a shout out, a pundit here, and a part of it. So make sure you check her out there on her program. Our Tape Studies will be dropping soon, some more stuff. So I wanted to give her a shout out. So yeah, to Marie. I didn't see her today. I know she was in the chat a little earlier and yesterday. So I wanted to give her a quick shout out.
I'm telling you, people, she's a walking encyclopedia. She gave me the Clip Notes version of the UE lore, and that's what made me go this way. Then Callum Newman just appears out of nowhere. The breadcrumbs are there. I just can't see him just sitting there being a cheerleader for someone that used to be the leader of the UE and like, hey, no, he's gonna be like, fuck that guy. Kenny Omega, keep that belt.
Hoss, the fact that you had to have Marie go out of her way and send you clips to get you into the story is it sucks. Why aren't they implicating this on AEW television? Why do you have to go through whole other sources and all this shit to figure out why these two are supposedly having problems? Why didn't they mention this on AEW Dynamite going up to the event, going up to All In? And then they could have whatever. Oh, cool. This would have been a bigger deal. Now I'm sitting here, majority of the people, and how is this going to help anything? Or how is Callum Newman sitting there? And now maybe because you told me, but before you told me, and if I just see him out there, how am I going to think to myself, well, maybe that's the point, but how am I going to, okay, well, Will Ospreay could actually lose. If you had Moxley come out during or something, oh shit, Moxley could actually screw over Ospreay here. It would make sense.
I'm gonna tell you, Chris. It's because the sickos consider themselves the smart marks. They follow everything, all wrestling. They know everything. That's why AEW doesn't give you the full recaps because they feel like, oh, you watch just as much wrestling as we do. We don't have to recap you. You know everything. But no, that's not. We don't. We don't watch every damn thing. We do. We need some help. Give us a video package here or there. You know. But
I agree. Yes.
We've been making those comments for a long time, and a lot of other programs have twos, but we won't get that anytime. So that's probably 2 years down the line. But yeah, it just this Callum Newman, the news, it just screams that Will Ospreay is going to get fucked here. It just screams it.
I hope he gets kissed before.
All
right, but all in all, guys, as soon as AEW All In finishes and by the way, they have a curfew. They're in London, and of course, London has a curfew, a strict policy where certain venues, live venues, have to end by a certain time limit. Tony Khan said he was going to go 4 hours, no longer than 4 hours for it'd be safe. We'll see. But Tony Khan has a curfew. It's not going to go on 6-7 hours. It's going to be a good I think it's going to be 4.5 hours long. But the point is, immediately after the Dynamite Bros, we'll be breaking down and reacting live here on the Sports Jedi Network. So please hit your notification bell on the YouTube side or alarm as soon as they're done. You're not going to see the same old intro with a guy in a fucking car with 20 minutes later sitting there and listening to some terrible music. You can come on in and listen to the Dynamite Bros, Hap 'em Grow, where they have a new perspective, not the same old things that they, kind of like copy and paste, always need the introduction of the dialogue. You don't have to have my Dynamite Bros don't need to open up a window to tell you and say the same shit every stream. These guys got fresh, new takes and opinions. So please check out the Dynamite Bros, all AEW All In recap here on the Sports Jedi Media. And now we're going to tune into AAA Ola de Calor, but we're going to hear from one of our new sponsors.
Okay, listeners, we got a brand new sponsor to the Sports Jedi Media. Haas Knucklebrew is brand ambassador to Wolfpack, is an athletic and tactical backpack company that makes gym, meal prep, tactical, duffel, sling, and utility bags. Its official site says the brand was created by a Southern California bodybuilder and family man and has grown into a fitness lifestyle movement. Pack up, knuckle up, save 10%, gear up with Wolfpack, and represent the Haas Knucklebrew way. Use promo code BELLCOWHOSTS, get 10% off. Wolfpack and Haas Knucklebrew, built to pack, built to knuckle, built for the Sports Jedi Galaxy.
All right, let's go. If they would have not put copyright, I would have had the beginning of Wolfpack theme song. I love that theme song, by the way. I named my softball team. A little bit of side note. I named my softball team with my friend Russell the Wolfpack. When I was at the height of the NWO. So yeah, we love that. I love that name. Good job there, Huss, on that affiliate. Please use that promo code and save 10%. I know that you got Tupperware. You got for all you bodybuilders that you have meal prep on the go. Great line. Great. They have a night and it has wheels. So if you want to go to the airport and you're going on the travel, use your promo code. They got they go to wolfpack.com and see all that there. Don't forget to use that promo code. All right. One half of the halfway through, we got Ola de Calor, AAA. It's a big show that's going to go kind of programming this is where it kind of sucks because this show alone gives a lot of great viewership and great it just stands on alone. They're going to get great grabs. Too bad a lot of people ain't going to watch it. People are probably going to watch it the fall after All Out or maybe the next day for Ola de Calor AAA as they build for Triple Mania 34 15 days later. We have by the way, one of our friends, check out our interview with Jack Cartwheel. He is part of this AAA #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title, Mini Vikingo, who is so young but so exciting. Nathan Frazier and Jack Cartwheel. If I'm WWE, I will start this match with them because all three men are freaking high flyers and they will put the oohs and ahs and the graps. Haas, who do you like winning this match and becoming the #1 contender for Rey Fenix?
I think they're going to be pushing Mini Vikingo to the moon. The guy's exciting, got a lot of moves. He's all over the place. It screams Lucha Libre. I'm taking Mini Vikingo here. I hear his name a lot on the internet. I think he'll cash it out. Him and Rey Fenix are going to put on a great match, I believe. So give me Mini Vikingo.
Chris, this might be candidate the match of the night for AAA.
I mean, yes, but is Mini Vikingo actually related to El Hijo de Vikingo? Like,
I don't know.
Or is he just copying his gimmick?
I think it's a copy of his gimmick. I think so. I'm not too sure. I will be finding out that because yes.
Okay, because forgive me, chat. I'm not too familiar with AAA. I keep up once in a while, but I like Jack Cartwheel. I've seen him not just because we've interviewed him, but the clips that I've seen on social media. He's been out there having a lot of good matches and a lot of good spots out in AAA. So I think this could be a good way to introduce him too as well. I think Nathan Frazier's, he's a main roster guy, and Mini Vikingo has a lot of, viral popularity in Mexico. So I like to see Jack Cartwheel maybe do something a little bit, more. And I think this could be a good opportunity for him. So I'm a shout out to our guy, Jack Cartwheel.
You know what I like to say this, but I don't know because Triple Mania 34 is going to be 2 nights. Friday night in La Vega and Sunday night in La Ciudad de Mexico. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a little bilingual because it is a triple as a Spanish on there. To me is where and they have not announced placement of the card. If I knew the placement of the card, kind of would dictate where the title, who wins this match. If this cruiserweight title is in Mexico, it's going to be Vic Vikingo. Because you got Rey Fenix, who's beloved in Mexico, and Vikingo, the next young Rey Fenix, up and coming. That's a great match to sell tickets in Mexico, or people will go really excited. If it's in the United States in La Vega, and by the way, you shouldn't stereotype or hold back Mini Vikingo to wrestle in the United States either, because he is a future phenom or future prodigy. That's a better word. But I'm with you. If this match is in La Vega, I can see Jack Cartwheel.
I would like to see Jack Cartwheel.
Yeah, with that could be a good thing there. But Nathan Frazier, I know he does a lot of crazy moves here. He could possibly be a wild card here, but just something telling me they're gonna try to move someone big and new up the card. So, but Jack Cartwheel, there could be a good call there, Chris.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's not bad. Like, I mean, none of these guys are really over Mexico. I mean, Mini Vikingo probably is, but I don't know. Nathan Frazier and Jack Cartwheel would be a good match in Las Vegas. And I think Jack Cartwheel, I think he'd be good with the main roster crowd. You don't think the little fucking kids would be doing cartwheels all over the house trying to beat Jack Cartwheel and all this stuff? No, you don't see that? You don't see the marketing with Jack Cartwheel on the main roster? Not now, obviously, but maybe like I don't know, maybe he could be like a Joe Hendry type of thing where he's like, Joe Hendry does the spin, he does the cartwheel. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of marketability with him there.
I can see it, but here in America, a lot of people are overweight now, especially the kids. I don't know how many cartwheels they're going to be turning these days. Also, I don't know. It could be interesting there, but let's
a guy who usually misses AAA, may I ask why are they on a Sunday? I think that's a good question to ask Kev when he comes back. He'll be back. He's just restarting something.
I'm gonna go from the business standpoint, Rams fan. I think
they want to counter program AEW.
That's exactly what it is. They want to have a whole day of content to go against All In. That's all it is, Rams fan.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think I could do a cartwheel for you guys.
Go for it, Chris. Go for it. Don't hurt yourself, man. Go for it. Do it for the people. Do it for the people.
I got you.
We're serving content. We're serving content for the people.
Ready?
Here we go. Athletic Jedi's. Look at PGH Chris showing off the athleticism.
That was to shout out to our guy Jack Cartwheel.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean this whole card while we were waiting for Kev, I think this whole card looks pretty good though. I'm just who's the Beast Mortos looking guy?
That's a good question. Is
that Drake Maddox? Is that Roxanne's boyfriend?
Man, beats me. It beats me. But I'll say we're gonna move on to the trios match they're gonna have. They got Penta, Ray Phoenix, and Dragon Lee versus Perros Del Mal, Chris. And with we gotta help out the uninitiated.
There is.
Perros Del Mal has Daga, Berto, Angel, and Carmen Petrovich. Oh, hey there, Kev.
Here you go, Kev.
We're on to the trios
in Orlando. I can't wait for the show. I got to check my UBS. I don't know why it just turns off. It should be staying me on. I digress. Sorry to take you away from the show there. It's lightning strike. I'm in Orlando, lightning capital of the world. We get some surges. Half the power goes off for 3 minutes or 1 minute, and then everything, the whole system reboots. I'm over this. I can't wait for winter. I can't wait for summer to be over with these damn lightning storms in Florida. It pisses me off. Which match are we on, fellas?
Well, we moved on to the trios match with Penta, Ray Phoenix, Dragon Lee versus Perros Del Mal.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, we haven't got to the prediction. We had just got to when you coming in, Kev.
Who do you like?
I'm taking the faces. I think we're gonna since they're pushing the luchador matches on main roster television. There's no reason for Penta, Ray, or Dragon Lee to take the L here. I'm taking the faces.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the heels one too, because I Garza and Berto, like those two guys, like I like that they're finally getting like a bigger spot on a show. So like I wouldn't mind them seeing a win and kind of build that faction up a little bit. But I do agree with Haas, especially since we're getting Ray Phoenix and Penta in the finals on Monday. I agree with Haas. I think Penta, Dragon Lee, and Ray Phoenix would win this match. Yes, okay. So that is Haas. I was right. That is Roxanne's boyfriend, the Beast Mortos looking guy.
Did you guys spoke on it? Because I'm about to bring that guy.
No. We were waiting for you because we wanted to confirm that's who that was. Yeah.
I think, be honest with you, especially coming this Monday night Raw, this Monday night, it's going to be the finals of the tournament where you have Penta and Ray Phoenix. I don't want to see any dissensions with the brothers, but they could be on a little bit off course with the off page. I'm taking the Perro de Mal to win because of that, because they don't, something, I don't say they're going to dissension or anything, but just a mistake where it's going to be more or you think there's going to be animosity for Monday Night Raw. The guys we're going to we'll talk about that a little bit at the end of all the predictions, just briefly over all that stuff. I think that's where that goes. I think Perro de Mal wins because they kind of need it more. Especially if they want to be a faction that wants to establish himself in AAA after dropping Bronco Lima. We'll talk about that as well. Why they dropped Bronco Lima after losing to Penta, because Penta they try to recruit Penta into a Perro de Mal. Penta was an old member of the Perro de Mal group in the AAA storyline, where they offer him his shirt to be part of the group, to welcome back, help us run this new version or new generation of Perro del Mal. But then Penta, got into Bronco's faces. You don't even belong here. You're not worthy to be Perro del Mal. And it led to a match where Penta says, if I beat you, you're more than Perro del Mal worthy. And Penta beat and they saw him as a weak link, and they removed Bronco Lima from the storyline. Just catching you up a little bit on that storyline when it comes to Perro de Mal and all the Penta. So that's something interesting that played out on AAA television. Yeah, I got Perro de Mal. Now we'll talk about El Carnicero, who has a match with In Action. He's making his debut. It's probably going to be El Fiscal or Ebipo or some maybe they have Undertaker likes Pimpinela Escalar. Maybe Pimpinela comes out there but this is, yes, the guy under the mask is Roxanne's meat man, El Carnicero. If you translate the name to Carnicero, that's a meat man, a butcher, the butcher. So I don't know if he's kosher, but he's Cajun. So that is Blake Monroe from LFG. By the way, shout out to Jeff Lippman and the legendary LaFisto. They break down LFG each and every time on the Wrestling Super and Friendos. So I wanted to give them a shout out. Of course, you know Jet Lippman from the Padawan Awakening, my partner in crime there, 1/3 of the Padawan, and of course from the Garden of Thoughts podcast, the Out of Character podcast, and many other more podcasts. But Jeff Lippman, appreciate you. I wanted to give you a shout out here on a Saturday afternoon. By the way, he's in the chat. I didn't look at that. So it's going to be cocaine versus El Carnicero. Oh my God. That's the Tony Khan special.
It's going to be that fucking JCW clown.
Yes, that's exactly what
Haas,
about with cocaine.
AAA's having their own version of In Action.
Yes.
Yes, okay. School me. What does his name mean? What
the Butcher.
The Butcher.
Meathead or the Butcher. Carnicero, the Butcher. By the way, shout out to my friend. We're not on Instagram because I lost power and Instagram got cut off. So I'll refeed this on Instagram. Again, another time. Shout out to my friend. He was my apprentice on the as an electrician in New York. I used to call him a Carnicero. He was a butcher.
He reminds me of Leatherface. He looks like the guy from you know the horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, he's giving that vibe. So this will be the first time me seeing him. So I will be looking to see how will he impress me. So let's go. Even though I have beef with him, I want him in the ring because I'm a fan of Roxanne Perez myself. He's getting the pop rocks. Yeah, he got to see me. He gonna have to see me.
Yeah. JCW needs to bring in the Brothers of Funstructions to AAA. Oh, I wanted to see that. I wonder.
Junk Championship Wrestling. Yeah, interesting.
How dare you go at the Juggalos, Chris? How dare you?
I've already came at the Juggalos.
I'm getting the bat for you.
The Juggalos already don't like me. I've came at them already.
I'm a fan of Violent J. Don't come at them.
You listen to you, so you're throwing on that new Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, I ain't go that far. I might watch the shows. I ain't go that far.
All right, we'll go on here. We have AAA World Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders, Eric and Vallavar taking on Los Americanos, Bravo and Rayo Americano. This is here where the Americanos are full momentum. They love Mexico City, Mexico, whatever ciudad in Mexico they're in, whatever city in Mexico they go to for their shows. They travel. They do a great job traveling all over the country of Mexico. Different locations, different places, and everywhere they go, they stop Los Americanos, whatever three trios version, all three, they are super over in Mexico and AAA. The people love them. They love the Rayo and Bravo underneath the mask. You got Bravo dancing, a little bit of try. He tries to pretend he's throwing a little salsa dance there, although to me it looks kind of fruity. But my point is, they're over. Parece medio maricón. But here's what I'm gonna say. I think we get new tag team champions. I think the Americanos win the gold.
Why not? I think a faction, especially if El Grande is gonna win the AAA championship at Triple Mania, hell yeah, have the whole Americanos as fucking champions. I love it.
I have a question here. Now, last night on SmackDown, they announced a match for the War Raiders versus R-Truth and Damian Priest for those same titles. I know that was a taped SmackDown, and I know they're taping more shows. So please help me here. If I'm to pick the Americanos, how are the War Raiders going to defend those titles on SmackDown?
I forgot about that.
Next week.
I forgot about that.
So how does the main roster go here? Like, I'm very confused. So I can't really make a prediction here because the main roster has messed me up here. Someone help me. Help me, Kev. Help me out.
Here's what I could tell you. whenever you buy a ticket to any of the live events or even in a concert or anywhere, there's a small print on the bottom that says card subject to change.
Yes.
That's the only rebuttal I could give you, my friend.
Okay. Oh, they didn't say next week, Rams fan. Oh, okay. I thought it was next week. Well, if it's not next week.
Oh, by the way, I got to give a plug. Sorry to interrupt you. Soup du jour with our guy Ram. They cover and they break down every Friday Night SmackDown immediately after. They're not part of our network, but Ram is a young man who comes on. You saw him on the Garden of Thoughts with Mr. Jeff Lippman. Every time we have a live show, whatever the case, he's always writing in the chat. He likes, he shares, he collaborates with his actions. So I have to be a good person here and put him over in the Soup du Jour. You see it also on the Wrestling Soup and Friendo Network and Ram. Yeah, so I wanted to give that shout out, and he covers it and that's where I got to give 85% that he heard it correctly, because there's always a 15% for error. But I'm gonna give him that. If he's saying that, I got a good 85%. I'll put my money on his work.
Shout out to Rams fan for that. I appreciate that. My biggest thing here is, so will we hot potato these titles? Because if the War Raiders are going to have the belts at that time, do they have like do them and the Americanos have like a little series, and they hot potato it, then they go back to the main roster, then they put it back on the Americanos at Triple Mania, but we'll find out that later. I'm gonna take.
Would it hurt it? Let me ask you a question. Would it hurt it? Where if the title's a little bit hot potato, because Mexico is going to cheer for everyone there. They like it. They one thing, they're not finical fans. They will go behind anything that AAA gives them. They respect the talent in the ring, whether they like it or not. Where the American fans a little bit unappreciative. If I hate to say that, more than the Mexican fans. And if that title gets hot potato, the Mexican is not going to deter Mexico for backing AAA. But for us in the American audience, different champions, he's here now. Maybe they're trying to create a buzz so we can watch Triple Mania, and they have a tag team division that's live, that there's action, there's activity. It's not the same champions beating competitors and burying. Anyone really could win those titles at any given time. Maybe that's a way they'd want to see it. Maybe Taker wants that and try something different, where when you have tag team champions in the main roster, they hold these titles forever and they really don't defend it, or they win and there's really not a lot of competition, where the titles, any given team could win it at any given night.
Forgive me, I don't know much of the story of the tag titles right now in AAA, but I will say this: I think the Undertaker is tired of AAA stepping on his creative, but that's a different discussion for a different.
No, day. We could have that a little bit quickly. We could have that little minor a conversation, because I see that all across the board. Because don't get me wrong, they're all good friends, Haas.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Undertaker. But I feel like when they collaborate, there's a little one-up. I'm a better... you know what? Here. Because Shawn Michaels said when he was a performer, oh, you guys wanted me to go first as a performer? You heard that on LFG. By the way, again, shout out to Jeff Lippman and the legendary LaFisto for breaking down LFG. He says, follow that. And Vince, he thought back then it was like a slap in the face. You're gonna be the opening contest. Triple A, Shawn Michaels used to go out there and tell the boy, follow that, boys. And now that's a staple that's there. Could it be something that these promoters they're still competitive? They might not be the ones going out there physically, but they want to one up and say, follow that card to the main roster, or to Triple H or Shawn Michaels or Undertaker, vice versa. Could that be going on as well?
Possibly, because I know people that watch all the WWE programming like we are with the wrestling content. This has to be confusing other people just like me. Like, because we heard this last night. Now we got this match down here. This is very confusing. So you could be right here. I think they might. I think Undertaker is very upset about certain things. You can't say it out loud, of course, but behind closed doors, I'm pretty sure they're having these conversations, because you're messing up my booking by booking this on the main roster, messing up my stories down here to further your so-called stories up there, which we know the tag division on the main roster has no stories whatsoever. So I don't know. But to get back to the match, I will be taking the Americanos here. I've been a fan of the gimmick since day one. I loved it when they brought Rayo and Bravo around. I love all this silly stuff. And they're taking way more seriously down there south of the border. So I'm taking the Americanos.
Yeah, which you'll see there on that there, and it's all interesting storyline. For that with the tag teams, you got the Murder Clowns, the Psycho the Psycho Circus. That's another tag team. You have Money Machine, Oro de Plata and Conillo de Plata and Oro de Cara. There's a lot of tag teams there. You have the LWO. So they have a nice bunch of tag teams, and AAA does do tag teams, and they really emphasize on their tag team division and so forth on that. And it'll be interesting where they go here. This one for the vacant Latin American champion. It's going to be settled in the Fatal 4-Way. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't put a graphic. I forgot about that. I'll be honest with you. Here, the participant, because El Hijo de Vaquingo got injured, so he had to vacate the title. Here's the competitors: La Polka or La Puerca, depending where you are, what regions of Latino you are. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., El Fiscal, and Damian Priest. We have a Fatal 4-Way match. Now, could Damian Priest be added just for the people in the North American to tune in? Because if I say you got a triple Fatal 4-Way with Fiscal, Hijo de Dr. Wagner, La Polka, and Avipo, I don't know if you're really going to watch it. Or El Mesias, Ricky Banderas. I'm like, But if you add now Damian Priest, he could be there to give that title a boost of a big name here. My point is, Chris, Kingana, who becomes your Latin American champion? Who would you like?
I'm going to say either Damian Priest because of that reason, or I'm going to say Dr. Wagner because I feel like if I'm seeing any of the AAA guys besides it's him, Mr. Iguana, and like Psycho Clown or something. Mm-hmm. So I think, and so if you're going to put Dr. Wagner in the main roster for some appearances and with the AAA title, I think it'd look cool. So either Priest or Dr. Wagner, I think would be a good win. But to pick one, I'm going to go with our boy Priest because I think if they want to, they've been recently doing that with putting them on SmackDown. So I think they could work it out. And Priest is also on SmackDown as well. But either one.
All right.
I'm going with Priest, but I'm going to go with a different direction here. I really think they're going to introduce Omos back to the main roster. So I think they're going to bring Omos with Dom because I know that he's down there with them down their way. They are introducing bigger men back to the main roster with Big Cass and all of that. So why not bring back Omos, make him a main roster character, and he's going to be coming after Priest because Priest took his spot in this match. So Priest's going to walk around the main roster with this belt because he did allude to going after singles gold on SmackDown last night. This would be a great way to show it. Get singles gold down in AAA. Omos is going to be pissed because you took my spot. You got the belt. He's going to start chasing Priest on the main roster. It gives Priest something to do on the main roster as well. It can continue on weekends with AAA. I like it. Let's go with Priest for the win.
I like what you said. By the way, I got to shout out. I got to wave that flag. Like Mike Santana says, wave that shit. To formerly known as Cruz Santana. I got to go with my Federal Boricua. I think Damian Priest wins this. Here's the funny thing. Mentioning Omos got suspended last week from AAA indefinite. He put his hands on the general manager, Rey Mysterio. He was gonna powerbomb him. Dominic and Dorian Duran stopped him. He didn't get physical. He dropped him, but he still got suspended indefinitely. Out. You guys get this bastard out of my ring. So I don't know how long is the suspension. They didn't say a week, 2 weeks, indefinitely. So I don't know. Take that for a grain of salt. For Omos, maybe that's like you said, Haas. Maybe there's legs where he's maybe done in AAA, and now he's gonna be called into the rosters on Raw or SmackDown. I'll say this here. I don't know I think Damian Priest wins the title. I think Damian, there's no proof. I have a funny feeling Damian might get pulled back to Raw. Now that we're seeing some vignettes for Lola Vice part of Raw, I can see Damian and Omos moving over to Monday Night Raw to have these battles and feuds. Like you said, Big Cass is on Raw. Also, they need the big men for Obafemi and Braun Breaker to showcase to wrestle. Although Braun isn't a big monster, he's not a big, but he's a big intimidating with aura. My point is they're going to bring some more players of big men into that division. And I think that's how you do it, where Omos and Damian Priest, maybe they'll do that on Raw and they move him slowly to Damian back to because Raw really right now SmackDown's not really needing Damian right now with all the heavy hitters that we'll talk about it soon about everyone there. You can move them over to Monday Night Raw, and I think he wins that. You also give credibility to main roster people, also a Latino, to also be part of Triple Mania 34 if he wins that title. You see that title on SmackDown, Raw, whatever the case is, where Omos is chasing him. You never know. Omos could say, I'm a free agent. I always was a free agent. And you have Damian chasing Omos after getting beat up and chokeslammed and so forth. So I like where we're going there. I like what we're talking there. I think we get a new champion. I think El Boricua goes and wins that Latin American champion. I love it, especially with the other Boricua at NXT.
I think Judgment Day is due for a bigger push coming out of this. And wouldn't Omos just legitimize the Judgment Day even more? You bring in another male, probably the biggest male on the roster, to come and protect Dom, because Dom is going into a program with Javon coming in now. Why not? To protect Javon. Javon is up there getting beat up by the Giants on Raw. Omos up there choke slamming Javon. You get Javon to do a OG cutter on Omos.
Yes.
Great visuals.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen.
And you made it right, because he got suspended, and Dominic has been Omos and Dominic and Dorian Duran have been like a trios in AAA where they're working together. They have a collaboration there where now you're suspended indefinitely. You don't have to be, you can still come work with us, and you're going to watch our back in Judgment Day. And I can see that when he brings him to watch his back as an enforcer in Judgment Day. I can see that. Haas. I like it. I like where you're going with that. You're making good sense. We're tying in. We're trying to tie in AAA, which sometimes they're, and NXT and the main roster kind of together, because they kind of want to do that to a certain degree. I like where you're putting out there. I'm all for it. Let's go. We get it. We're gonna have a contract signing. We're gonna have a contract signing between El Grande Americano. This should probably close Ola de Calor, because this is a big contract signing for Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano. Here's the one thing that's gonna fall short. It's not in Mexico. I don't know if El Grande Americano, Kaiser's going to get that big response that he would have gotten for that contract signing, especially if it's going to end in physicality with Dominic Mysterio. I think it's going to fall short because of the location. Maybe I'm be wrong. I hope Edinburgh, Texas proves me wrong. I'll be the first one to say, boy, I didn't see that happening. But I thought El Grande is really over. So I think it's going to go, Chris, I think it's going to fall short.
No, I definitely don't blame you, because, again, El Grande Americano is he's over in Mexico, and I don't really think the American audience really, I don't want to say they don't like him, but they're definitely not as invested into him as much as they are in Mexico, and they'll probably cheer Dominic because of Dominic. So I agree, it could fall flat, but nonetheless, I'm expecting some good exchange of words and an intense segment before their big match.
Yeah, I see that. And then I left this one for last. You got anything? Because I didn't.
I mean, the contract signing trope. I guess Dom is going to decimate his deadbeat father and El Grande Americano here. So it should be very fun. But
no Omos, because unless they consider American soil different, but is it still a AAA sanctioned show? So I don't expect Omos to be there. Maybe there's another member, another person that aligns with Dominic to attack Grande Americano. I don't think so, but I'm with you on that.
Kev, you know how these kayfabe suspensions go. Omos will come up there and tear through the gate. F your suspension, come there and just destroy everybody.
Yeah, interesting there. This one I left for last.
I got one more question. I know you might not. I'm gonna look it up while you talking about this last match. I'm gonna find out geographically where is Edinburgh in Texas.
You're right. I think, yeah. Go ahead and do that, because I also have a quick question on that. I also want to know exactly where it goes as well. We'll go right into the next one. The rest is one I left last. It's the AAA. This is the women's champion. They call it las Reinas, Queen of Queens. Number one contender, Mystery Gauntlet. The winner takes on Flammer, who is over 1,000 days as world champion. She's in a Roman Reigns type of title reign for AAA. There's a gauntlet. It's all mystery gauntlet. This is a gauntlet that looks like it's going to be like Catalina to win. For it set up there, boy, this would have been a great opportunity to debut Persephone in Edinburgh, Texas, but she's not with the company yet. Maybe she comes out at the end. But to me, this is a gauntlet for Catalina to win, to stable herself there. I just want to know which the other three ladies are going to fill this. Do we see no, Natty's wrestling, so we're not going to see Natty. This is a good, maybe, we've seen how much she enjoyed wrestling and having a good time for the one and only Bailey. If she resigns and she shows up and wrestles there, even though that'd be a nice spot for her to show up there. Maybe you see ladies like an Ivy now. Who knows? They and a couple other. It'll be interesting to see who AAA is going to be Mystery Gauntlet. To me, it just feels like it's Catalina.
I'll go with you on that one. I'm with you a lot, Catalina. I'm with you on that one. I'm
just gonna say Bailey or not Bailey. I'm gonna say somebody from the main roster. Well, I'm curious to see who that's gonna be.
I'm trying to think of Latin descendant because Roxanne Perez
could be,
because now you have the butcher at Canicero down there.
It could be, and Judgment Day if her with another title and Dom, it could be.
Lady Shine, yeah, everybody like to say Lady Shiny. She's been another one. She'll probably be in the gauntlet. I don't think she wins it. You're telling me you have this Reina de Reinas at Triple Mania to want to sell more tickets in the United States, although they had to move venues already. You can have this match versus Roxanne Perez, a Mexican American talent taking on, and Moso is Bailey against Primer, who is over 1,000+ days as champion. With Roxy, and then maybe Roxy, and you could tie into the storyline where Roxy and Dominic spends too much time alone in Mexico, with Liv Morgan not liking it because she's not with her man in Mexico, and Roxanne is the champion down there with Dominic and so forth, and you could kind of throw a little dissension. Yes, Roxanne is a little too she is a little too Americanized. By the way, B-Fab is not a bad choice. She is half Colombian. So she is a Latina as well. So even she shows up there, it does make sense. She is also Latina. She's Afro Latina. So she also makes sense if that makes sense as well. But yeah, I definitely see that there for that. I think this is going to be a real good card. We'll be breaking that down with me and Mr. Jeff Littman on the Padawan Awakening part of the NXT. Let's go right into that. Before we get into NXT, go ahead.
I got your update, Kev. Edinburgh, Texas is 21 miles away from the Mexican border.
Oh, that's yeah, beautiful. That's AAA territory. Beautiful. Yeah, that's AAA territory. Big time. Yeah, good job there on that one. All right, so we're gonna get into the Heat Wave, but we want to hear from, of course, one of our quick break. We want to hear from one of our main supporters here, G Fuel Energy. Quick break, and we'll be back. 30 seconds.
All right. Before we keep this energy going, shout out to the sponsor of tonight's stream, G Fuel Energy. If you're watching this live, you already know. We don't do slow reactions. We don't do low energy. We stay locked in. And that's exactly what G Fuel brings to the table. Zero sugar, loaded with focus, and built for long streams just like this. Whether you're grinding, gaming, or watching chaos unfold with us, G Fuel keeps you going. Hit the link in the description, use code PGHCHRIS, and level up your energy the same way we do on Sports Jedi Network. Let's get back to it.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
All right, we thank you there for that. We're going to break it right into Heat Wave. This one, I cannot wait to hear predictions and get in this year with PGH Chris on this one. Let's start it off here with a match that was added. It's a submissions match. The one and only Natalya versus Jada Parker. Now, I did this when we did the review on Tuesday. I did not know if this match was added, and I didn't know there was stipulation as we uncovered and we see. This is going to be a submission match. Hopefully, this is the final match between these two ladies, the blow-off match here. Chris, do you like Natalya to beat Jada Parker, or is Jada Parker excelling to that next level?
Okay, so I just want to give a quick shout out to NXT because I kind of fell off with the product a little bit, and the last month and a half, they've really gotten me back tuning in. I think they've been doing some cool shit, especially with the new players they got in them. I think the men's still needs a little bit done, but nonetheless, this looks like a phenomenal card right now. So Jada Parker and Natty, I want to see Jada Parker kind of evolve here. I don't really think Natty. I don't think she'll have anything to gain from winning this. I think everything is to get Jada Parker over, and she just needs to have a good match because I think Jada Parker, at least for me, her promo. I mean, she's not the greatest, but she's also not bad. That's something that she actually has down. I just think she needed the wrestling down, and I think Natty's helping her get her wrestling better and improve. So I want to see Jada Parker take an extra step in this women's division. So I want to say Jada Parker gets the win here.
Okay, I think this is going to be one of these rare scenarios that happen in wrestling. I got Jada Parker winning. I think she's going to make Natty submit in the sharpshooter. I think that's what's going to happen here. And I think Jada Parker is going to ascend to the main roster after this. I think she's going to join her old brethren, OTM and Royce Keys, on the main roster. They're gonna give them a little flavor, let her be the valet for a while she learns to wrestle on the main roster. I think this is going to be the end of Jada Parker in NXT. So I have Jada going for the win by making Natty submit to the Hart Foundation's move of choice, the sharpshooter.
All right. That'd be something different there. I'd like to see that there. I'm going forward there. All right, we'll move on. And I've got also Jada Parker, and I think she fits a perfect fashion group that kind of debuted on Monday Night Raw and with Royce Keys and the OTM. She originally was part of that group. And then not because, and I said it earlier, I said it on our show on the Padawan Awakening, not because she's having a relationship with Jey Uso, as everyone knows. She just fits the OTM. They need a woman in there. I know Bloodline don't have a woman. I don't want them to have a woman, although they could bring Naomi if she returns back from maternity leave. If that's something different. But my thing is, she really fits that group, especially if they want to get over. She's eye candy. And if OTM, they kick ass with Royce Keys. You bring her there, I'm like, oh, damn, Miss Parker. And yeah, I think that will work. I think that is her last match in the main roster. I think you see her Impact show up on Monday Night Raw or even Saturday night's main event if they some type along those lines there. We're like, oh, damn, is that Jada Parker? And then I think we're off and running to the races. We're on the main roster going forward, part of that group. I'm going to go on to this next match. This man has double duty matchup. Jackson Drake taking on Miles Bourne for the North American title. And not just one, but it's two matches here. Do we get a new North American champion in Jackson Drake, the young guy trying to pick up his singles gold on NXT roster? Or does Miles Bourne retain, Chris?
I'm going to go with Miles Bourne retaining. I haven't checked out too much of what Jackson Drake has been doing the last few weeks, but I like Miles Bourne. But if he loses, maybe this is a way to again get him up in that main roster scene, because I understand they're getting some people in. I don't think they should call up everybody right now. I mean, you have two guys in your main roster division that or in your men's division that you just brought up. Tony D actually might be on the way out. I'm not getting to that right now, but I'm talking about if Miles Bourne loses, I want to see him in that world title scene run. So I'm going to say he's going to win, but if he loses, it really doesn't. I want to see him compete against like a Cruz Montana or something like that. I don't think he should get called up right away.
Okay.
I'm going to go, I'm going to say this depends on the placement of the card, which I don't think we know right now. But it's like you just say, he's pulling double duty. I will say that if the tag team championship match goes first, I'm taking Miles Bourne to lose to Jackson Drake. But if this match goes before the tag team title match, I will have Miles Bourne retaining. But I think they're going to have the tag team match first. So I have Miles Bourne losing in this match to Jackson Drake.
Here's what I said this on the show on Tuesday. I think this is going to lead to a storyline where that's just why I think this match goes on first. Because, or you might be right, Haas, where Travion Heights is going to turn on Miles Bourne. Because you weren't concentrated in your match. Or actually, you know what? I said it different. I said it backwards on Tuesday. I said Miles Bourne retains his title, and I think he loses the tag team title, which is going to lead to the storyline. You were too busy and concerning on keeping your singles title, and you didn't really concentrate on our tag team title. Because he seems unhinged. If you watch the storyline with Travion Heights, he feels unhinged. He's obsessed with winning the title. Oh my God, I don't know. He feels like he's going to jump off a bridge if he loses it. He doesn't know what to do with himself. So it all depends, like you said, Hasso, match placement. If the tag team titles are first and they drop it and Miles retain, I think that's going to send Tavion over the. You were too busy worrying about yourself and not worrying about the tag team title goal there. So I'm going to go into this back to back. I know they're not going to do it back to back matches. Who wins the tag team titles now? Is it Vanity Project or does the current tag team champions retain?
I'm going to say Vanity Project.
I think we're on a lockstep on that.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I don't think Miles wins a match at all this weekend. I think for storyline purposes, Vanity Project's going over the whole weekend.
So let me ask this. Does Miles turn heel because Travion, he was too busy worrying about his tag team title? Because, all heels tend to think that they're justified with their truth because I was too busy trying to make sure that you weren't a crybaby, a little cry girl, and that I had to go and get tag team titles because he did volunteer, but you saw Travion down in the dumps, and it cost me both of my titles, and especially with Shiloh Hill being the next person in line, kind of dictates a little bit who they might win this because Shiloh Hill's a babyface, so I don't know. There's some truth to that, Haas.
I think turning Miles Bourne heel right now would be kind of tricky. It's just,
I agree.
I don't know. Well, this might be just, how he speaks. I don't know how he's going to come off as a heel right now. Has he been a heel already in the company?
No, but before All Ego Ethan Page left, he was trying to course him into being a heel, putting shit in his ears, putting stuff, and they never paid it off there. They never paid off, and that would have been the perfect antagonist to turn him there. But now there's a story where he lost everything because he was too busy worrying about others, and now I gotta be selfish. I gotta believe about myself. So maybe he turns heel.
I don't think his acting chops are ready for that just yet. I could be wrong, but I don't think turning him heel right now will benefit him.
Oh, Stephanie Vaquera in that gauntlet for AAA. Good job there, Mr. Lindman. That was a good one. I didn't think about that. Stephanie Vaquera in that gauntlet against Famer, the longest reigning champion, and have Stephanie Vaquera if she's not going to win the title. I like that. That was a good one there. That's a good one. Hey, this is the program for the fans. So all the listeners and all that, if you got that, put it in there. Put your thoughts. We acknowledge everyone. Of course, Jeff Lindman is a pundit. He's here on the program. So, but still, anyone else out there as well, don't be shy to put your comments in the chat. We acknowledge everyone. You're not gonna get banned. You're not gonna have the people, the bots or the moderators kick you out, or we're gonna tell you, get this guy out of my chat. No. Leave that for that clown in 206.
We pucker up for the devil's kiss just like Miles Bourne over here.
Yes, and I take a little bit of Devon and Bully Ray. Yes. All right. So we move on here. We'll move on here to the next match here. It's the triple threat unification. We saw that the stipulation on Tuesday night, Callie Armstrong wins. She gets added to this match. They're going to unify the speed title and the women's North American title. You've got the reigning champion Zarya taking on the current champion and the speed current women's champion in Ren Sinclair, and the Kaylee Armstrong, who's catching NXT by storm after being elevated from Evolve, dropping that Evolve women's champion to Kendall Gray. But now she's on fire on NXT with a lot of momentum. Who wins this? And do they unify the titles first and foremost, Chris?
I mean, I don't know why. I mean, yes, I wouldn't mind them doing that because I don't really see the whole point of the speed title, but the speed title is also a part of NXT is what they do. So I don't know if they would want to get rid of that like segment completely. So unifying those is kind of interesting, kind of tricky, I get for a little bit, but I got Callie Armstrong just because I feel like she could be at a point now. Again, I haven't watched too much NXT the last few weeks, so don't take my word for it. But I feel like she's at the point now where like they want to build her up a little bit. And when I've watched NXT the last few years, since that North American title's been, out, I feel like they've used that title to push the people they want. They kind of did that with Stephanie. They kind of did that with a bunch of other people. So I think this could be something for Callie Armstrong, to get her build up more. So I'm going to say Callie Armstrong wins this. I'm going to pull the wild card here on the.
I like what you say that, Chris. I like you say that because everyone that has held that North American title kind of leapfrogs to the main roster. Look at Blake Monroe. Look,
they either leapfrog to the main roster or they leapfrog right away to the main title scene. And I think, I'm not saying Callie Armstrong's ready for that now, but her winning.
You make great points.
American title now, they could use that. I think this is an example of they could use a title to build somebody up.
You could protect Zarya.
I think you just I agree 100%. And then you could have her and Zarya run it back. Two big women going at it. Fuck it.
All right, Haas, who do you like?
This bothers me because I think they booked themselves into a hole here with the whole unification thing. I don't understand it. Like, it doesn't make much sense to me because if Zarya wins, what use of the speed title does she have?
I'll tell you right now.
If Ren Sinclair wins, you're going to have all the belts on the Ren QCC. You're going to make that babyface faction or babyface duo very hateable. I will say that. And with Callie Armstrong, if I could see her having one of these belts, I don't see her having both of them because you're handcuffing the whole women's division. But if I have to pick a winner, which I will, I'm gonna take Ren Sinclair here. I really believe they're gonna want to generate a lot of heat on the baby faces of the Ren QCC, and it's gonna probably lead to a rivalry with Kendall Gray and Ren because they have all the belts. With Zarya, they're really there's not much left for Zarya to do on NXT to me. I could be wrong here because I'm like, if you're not gonna put her in the main title scene with Kendall Gray as the main foil, what else are you gonna do with Zarya? Like, what other stories are there to be told? Because her story was really fit. Her and Soul could have left together, honestly, because their stories were together. And Zarya, I mean, you probably want her to speak more, but she's going to be a monster when she goes to the main roster. I don't see her doing much talking. I see her being an ass kicker. That's what I see. So I'm going to take Ren for the win.
All right. To me, you said this story has a lot to do with Sol Ruka because Zarya wants to win both those titles, something that Sol did. She wants to get rid of everything that existence with Sol and also winning those two titles like Sol Ruka did. Now she's a champion where she wasn't given to her. That's why that's the storyline where she's going to try to win it because she wants to win both of those titles. Like Sol Ruka, she's still hung up on Sol Ruka. And if she doesn't, she'll leave. I think she'll leave eventually. Also, I want to give credit to Busted Open After Dark to Bully, and she had Zarya on, and Zarya for her own admission when she first came over from Australia, she wasn't in great cardio shape. He said she blamed herself. She said United America has a lot of great fast food. She got into that. She loved eating the fast food. It wasn't really strong cardio wise. She had to get into the cardio shape. She looked phenomenal as a bodybuilder. She looked great. She goes, no, but my matches couldn't go long because I was winded. Now her endurance, being in the performance center all those 2 years now, her cardio, her performance is stronger. It's more up to par, more satisfying. She has bulked down and eating a little more healthier, making the proper choices, getting adapted to the United States living with the food and the nutrition. Now she feels like she's ready, and you see the push from from WWE machine on her. Could it be because she moved up? I'm agreeing with you. If she goes up to the main roster, they need to book her like Obafemi. They need to book her as the female version of Obafemi. And she got to go in there. And you know who she needs to really destroy? Rhea Ripley when she comes back from injury. I go, oh, shit. That's one of her dream matchups. Do you make a statement? If she should really destroy Rhea Ripley immediately, like, oh, damn. And I think that's, the same way, Brock and Oba, I need Rhea. I need Zarya and Rhea. That kind of, they need to borrow from that. They need to go with that there. But I said this, I think we're going to get a F finish. I think we're gonna get an F5 suplex, German suplex with a bridge, and someone else is gonna pin. It's gonna be a double pin, and I think whoever gets pinned, they're gonna keep this title split. It's gonna sound stupid, but I could see one might be pinning one lady, and the other one might be submitting the other in the ring. Something stupid along those lines where they're gonna split the title. I could see NXT doing something along those lines. For us as fans, are going to stuff stupid. For them, they think it makes sense to protect and keep that because they didn't unify the men's speed title. So you're going to have just a men's speed title. You already destroyed them. There is no women tag team titles. Now you're going to take the women's speed title away. Another woman title that you're removing, and then you're still keeping all these men's titles. That's the only thing I have to question.
I agree with you. I see where you're going with that.
And the women's division is stronger than the men's in NXT.
They prepped it like that double pin you talked about. They prepped us with it with Lola and Kendall. So I get
bingo
exactly where you're going with it.
Bingo. That's where my thought process is coming from. We saw that at Madison Square Garden on a big show, on the theater at Madison Square Garden, a big show there, and they introduced this to us. And they're just gonna borrow it. Not so long. It's far enough where it's not so close to do it, but they recently introduced us to that back then. So yes, bingo. I think we're gonna go with that there. We're gonna go with the women's title, world title. The woman that's being pushed to me too much, too quick. They're pushing her down our throats. Kendall Gray taking on Kalani Jordan, who, by the way, she should finally. I'm glad she's in this title picture 1-on-1 in the match against. She is the inaugural North American champion. This is one of the obstacles and the hurdles that Kalani Jordan needs to our NXT run. Does Kalani Jordan climb the mountain, wins, and becomes your NXT Women's Champion, or the deep throating of Kendall Gray continues?
I think the deep throwing of Kendall Gray continues. I think they want Kendall Gray to be champion for a good amount of time. Maybe they could run this back. I'm not sure, but I think this is one of those matches where I think Kendall, you kind of know Kendall. At least for me, Kendall Gray is going to win. I got Kendall Gray.
Oh, Chris, you say you have been watching NXT that intently lately?
That intently, no.
I'm gonna tell you, and everybody who watches NXT, they're gonna follow me on this one. They might disagree though. They keep playing up this ear injury of Kendall Gray. They keep saying that the soft tissue needs to regrow and that her equilibrium is off. And there's something to this gimmick because if they could have just stopped doing this after the Underground match. Am I right, Kev? They could have.
Yeah, they could have. She could have been a week or two, and I'm cleared.
They could have threw this away. I'm taking Kaylani for the upset. Because something about Kendall Gray, she's not going to be able to keep her equilibrium together. She might fall out. It's all about protecting her. That's why she won't lose clean. That's what this is. Kaylani's going to attack that ear, and that's going to be the thing that's going to take Kendall out. I think that's the only reason that gimmick is still there. Kaylani's going to win this title. All the nagging is going to be over with. It was worth it. Kaylani going to get a lot of heel heat behind this. Kaylani for the win.
Yeah, I said that to Mr. Lemon on Tuesday. We did a little quick production on that. I said Kendall Gray is going to lose the title, but I could see where it's not going to be because Ren turns heel, but I could see where there's a moment, like you said, with the equilibrium, her concern, and Kendall's going to get on the Ren is going to get on the apron to try to get the attention. Hey, she's not really strong, not really good. And I think this was going to open up that distraction where Kalani gets it with the back fist, or even with a title. With a title in the ear, and then she gets the victory. I think she's going to introduce the title, hit her in the ear, and that also keeps Kendall strong because she needed a title behind the referee's back, and Kalani wins. Now she's going to be one of those who I think Jeff mentioned might be a Grand Slam champion, where she holds 3 different titles, singles title, winning the North American inaugural, the NXT, and the TNA World title. She's going to have a level of accomplishment that we haven't seen and then women's, I don't think JC Jane was a tag team champion, also a TNA knockouts and NXT women's champion. But this is a different trifecta of titles for Kalani. I think we get Kalani win.
All right.
All right. We get the main event. This one I am so interested to hear with my partner here. We get the fatal 4-way for both of my partners. The current champion who has no chance. This is a Vince McMahon special for Tony D'Angelo. No chance in hell of retaining his NXT title. And he's going to take on Grayson Waller, who is right now the hottest mouth talker in all the NXT. To some people who don't like him, some people love it. We got Zilla, Napo Baby Fatu, and the man from the Bronx, the big, loud, and proud Boricua Cruz. Montana. I'm gonna go to Haas first because I'm gonna give Chris. I want him to wait like I am for his response. But I'm gonna go right to you, Haas. What do you like?
Hello. I'm taking Zilla Fatu for the win. The Nepo baby is going to take over NXT, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the social media clicks. Zilla Fatu has been lighting NXT on fire. He's been getting millions of impressions. And that's what they want. They want the ratings to go up. The crowd is behind him over there in the Performance Center, even though he's coming in as a heel, he's massively over. If he did not have this much of a social media presence, I would be going elsewhere. But they're going to need a big heel to help ascend Cruz Montana later on this year. And I think Cruz beating Zilla Fatu later is going to be for his benefit. I have Zilla Fatu fresh in NXT, hasn't been here a month, hasn't had a cup of coffee, hasn't even tied his shoes yet. Zilla Fatu for the win. The main one is taking over NXT.
All right. Chris, I want to hear your thoughts, brother.
Well, my thoughts are the exact same as Haas. Ironically, I got Zilla Fatu. Look, they gave him a main roster package on Monday Night Raw. They want to use Zilla Fatu like Hoss said, his social, and I'm one of those people that follow his social media. They're going to use him. They're going to use social media. They're going to boot. This is going to be a big ratings booster, just a big popularity booster for NXT with Zilla as world champion. Now, the reason I also say that too, Kev, kind of, and Hoss kind of started talking about it, but me and you know about it. It's Mike Santana chasing a title. They want to, I think they're going to want to take a little bit of TNA's blueprint and have Mike Santana. I'm not saying in a Madison Square Garden theater show or anything, but before Hoss hits me in the head, Cruz Montana. That's one person that I got to get used to calling by their new name. I think they want to have Cruz chase for the NXT World Title, and I think for the TV purposes, it's going to be good because I cannot wait to see. Like, Tuesdays will become my favorite show of the week as soon as Cruz Montana and Zilla Fatu are having their one-on-one feud. But I was on vacation and it bummed me out that we didn't get that Zilla stood up that 1 week when I thought it was advertised as them as a face-to-face. Oh, I was so that's going to be good. And again, like Hoss said, Zilla Fatu being the heel for Santana to dethrone, just like Trick, I think that's why Zilla's going to win it. So I pretty much agree with Hoss there. I had Zilla Fatu, but I want Cruz. He's gonna chase, and he's gonna, they're gonna take a TNA blueprint out of this.
What I love, this is a fatal 4-way. They're gonna protect 2 out of the 4. Two, half of the competitors could be protected, or even 3 out of the 4. I've said this on Tuesday night. I'm taking Grayson Waller to win the match because one guy that people are going to get mad and they're going to get pissed off and hate is Grayson Waller. People, that's the heel that Cruz Montana is going to chase because people are going to get more invested. I fucking hate Grayson Waller. That's what they're going to say. I'm not saying me. I'm talking about the fans. And Cruz, I need him to, because with all the reports that Sela is only there for a short cup of coffee in NXT because your tribal chief Roman Reigns is going to call him for him and he's going to recruit him up there because Jacob Fatu is going to turn on the tribal chief. He is leaving. He will be aligned with Royce Keys and OTM. War Games is around the corner. They have only 3 members of the bloodline. They bring the most up-and-coming, high-profile, and they did it on Monday Night Raw with a vignette. You never see an NXT person arriving with a vignette on Raw. To me, I think Zilla Fatu goes to the main roster. He's only going to be there for maybe until Halloween Havoc, and then you'll see him return. Personally, I think our Kiwi, the Grayson Waller wins. Cruz will chase because Cruz, everybody's going to be like, and I think you're going to get a Trick Williams type of push out of there. And I think he's going, and Grayson Waller will hit the pin and get the pin on Tony D'Angelo. Remember this, Solo Sikoa, he had to be called up to the main roster to return to win the North American title. And then for some bogus reason, they made him drop it. He's on the main roster. He can't have it. Now it's nonsense. You saw a couple months later, Dominic Mysterio was moonlighting with both titles on NXT, and they. So that's why I go back to the All In with the contract. They could do whatever they want. It's wrestling. So that's why I say that's why I'm just trying to tie in for earlier. If you missed it, please check out the Rewind app. Rewind and watch our All Elite Wrestling All In recap here on the same program. We started off with All In. I just wanted to bring that back. So I think that's why Zilla doesn't win it, but doesn't get pinned. Maybe Cruz takes the pin from Grayson Waller, where you think Zilla's about to get that, and boom, Grayson Waller becomes that asshole, and he gets even more heat because he took him out of the equation, and he was a crap weasel to go in and get the pin and win. So yes, I think to me, I'm going with Grayson Waller, and then by around deadline, or I even told New Year's Evil, I could see Cruz Montana becoming your NXT World Champion.
Okay,
I like that. I wouldn't mind.
Knowing how the product works, I think I'm not saying it's going to be booked 100% because you're already getting a lot of people disliking the Samoan dynasty for some reason. I don't know why they don't want the Samoans, and then you got Sela comes in and they want to push so quick, and there's a little truth to that. But man, Zilla moves numbers. I love Cruz Montana. You trust me and Chris, we said it millions of times. But Zilla doesn't move that. Mike moves, but not to the level of Zilla. the numbers and the viewership. I got to be totally honest. I can't be here like a parent who's naive if their kid is not behaving or no, and so no, he's a good boy, but meanwhile he's a little a problem child. I'm not saying Cruz is a problem child. I'm just saying those are I can't be that naive parent. In this case where when it comes to Cruz, a naive fan. I know Zila moves more. I know that. But they already have people tuning into our Zila. Build some stories around it. Let them chase the obstacle in Grayson Waller with Grayson, and you got a lot of different things there. It won't hurt. I'm that's why I'm going with Grayson as world champion.
Kev, I'll tell you this one. Everybody who says they have Samoan fatigue, they never stop watching the product. They just get up here and complain about it every week and every day.
I agree with you. I don't have Samoan fatigue.
Oh, not you. No, I'm talking.
No,
about
I know.
Yeah, the people who talk about it all the time, yet they never turn their televisions off. They are watching Raw every week for Roman Reigns, whether they like it or not, and they clearly like it. They just like, I just wish he had another story. I wish he didn't have the belt. He's Roman fucking Reigns. Just got to be honest about it. I know Zillify 2 is not to that level, but still, this is development. He's by far the biggest name in developmental right now.
Yes.
They're gonna do. If he doesn't win tomorrow, he's gonna be, like he says, the main one, whether you like it or not.
No, what a way of bringing Sela. If Roman does call Sela, everyone, he's only 26 years old. Roman needs an heir apparent, and I told you, I think it was Jacob Fatu, but I think Jacob kind of hurt himself with some comments that he made on the microphone with Monday Night Raw. I don't think they're gonna use that against him, but then they're like, ooh. I can see where I always said the tribal chief in waiting is going to be him. It's going to be Jacob Fatu, and I think Roman Reigns is going to ascend to high chief. But now you have a younger Sela where they could kind of storyline wise later for years. This is about years down the road. About a year, maybe 18 months from now, they could revisit that. And I think Roman bringing in Sela under his thing, and because Sela, even when he was not in the WWE, always acknowledged Roman Reigns very highly, very respectful of him outside, and it wasn't even thought about signing with the WWE. And he was still very respectful to the tribal chief, putting the ones up and acknowledging. So I could see that where Roman says, I'm gonna, he's the young guy. Let's face it, he's the next generation to get us over. I could hear Roman talking about that in the promo. So paraphrasing, bringing those key points. That's why I think he's getting called up for the War Games match. You put him, Sela, in a cage with all the other Samoans and whoever the iteration, and especially with Monday Night Raw. And let's get right into Monday Night Raw on that there. I think, don't forget where we immediately those shows is over. Me, Jeff Lippman, we'll be debuting, we'll be recapping both AAA and Heatwave, while the Dynamite Bros will be doing their reviews. So we're going to be, split, but we're going to be covering everything. So whichever cup of coffee you enjoy, we are going to be a strong batch of coffee for your liking on the review show. So please tune in to us on there and enjoy. And let's enjoy this. We're talking about Monday Night Raw. We had a big impact in that main event. The debut of OTM. We got Royce Keys come out, and he wasn't alone. He came in with Bronco and Lucius Prince. They made a huge statement, Chris. Did you like the OTM introduction? Even if you never knew who they were, did you like how they were presented?
Yeah, they weren't presented bad. They came out there, they beat up everybody. They looked good. Again, they were presented good. But the faction, I'm just curious to see how this is gonna play out, because I don't think they've built Royce Keys up to lead a faction. Not saying he can't, it's just what we've had lack of, what we haven't seen from him on TV since he's really came. But this has story. He has those problems with the Samoans and Jacob. So I'm generally curious to see where this goes. I'm not going to shit on it like a lot of people are. I do understand people's, oh, okay, I'm confused, especially if, like you said, Kev, they don't know who OTM is. I myself am not the biggest OTM enthusiast either. I kind of know them through you. So I do want to see a little bit more. But to your question of how they were presented, I didn't think they were presented bad. I thought I'm not comparing, but you're talking about presented. They were presented like the Shield coming out and kind of wrecking shit. Obviously not to that degree, but they look good. I'm just curious to see how it goes there forward, because there's a lot of questions still. but not bad.
Let me give you a follow up. Do you want to see more and find out what's this OTM about? After seeing them debut.
That's why. Again, this Monday's tape, so it sucks. But that's why I feel like they needed to start off the show. And I haven't seen the spoiler if they've done anything for that, but yeah, they need to start the show on Monday. Royce Keys needs to specifically be, if he's leading this group, and I just said I don't know how strong he is to lead a faction yet, he needs to tell me why. He needs to convince me on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to see how the first night goes and then kind of judge it from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, but Haas, I'm gonna add this caveat because a lot of people were, and I'm gonna let you go here. A lot of people has this caveat. Well, Royce Keys, wasn't he teaming up with LA Knight and Solo Sikoa? Why is he attacking him? Because when he got that chair shot and left bloody, none of them came out to his defense. That's a reasoning. But your thoughts on all that stuff there, Haas?
I agree with Chris on this one. They have not built Royce Keys up enough to be the mouthpiece of a faction. So that makes me go back to my whole Jada Parker thing when I was talking about Heatwave. Yes. You need to give the fans a reason to look at this group. Like I mean, you people like, man, you're objectifying women. Like, call it what you want. Royce Keys has been coming out to cricket since he came on this roster, and the main roster people do not know OTM. Give these people a reason to look at it. If it takes some eye candy, like how Maxine does the Vision, I'm all for it. I do not want this group to be DOA. They are physically impressive. They look like world beaters. Give them a reason that the fans say, I have to look at them. They're just not just some guys. If you throw in Jada Parker with this group, I'm telling you, they will be white hot going on forward, because Jada doesn't even have to wrestle right now. She can be on main event for a while. She can be doing the whole Maxine route, because you haven't seen Maxine wrestle since she became a valet for the Vision. Jada Parker could be a valet for the Vision for the next month or two while she gets her reps in on main event. And then if a woman calls her out, she'll be ready by then. But yes, I want this group to have a fire name, and I want Jada Parker to be their mouthpiece. I like the group. I just, with the main roster fans, especially the American fans, they will kill groups. They will kill new characters immediately because they get no reaction. I know Jada Parker is going to garner a reaction for this group. Let's go with that.
And shout out to on commentary when they mentioned that Royce Keys has a relationship with Bronco Lima back to Oakland. So the commentating is trying to tie in the story of why and so forth. But now again, they have to go in the middle of the ring and they have to speak it to the global audience and for the people in attendance on the reason why he went and recruited both Bronco and Prince. And I like it because the mouthpiece, I'm about to tell you, who's the guy who could talk for that group? Is Bronco. Bronco and he didn't do a lot of it on television for NXT. They didn't really put them a lot of people to speak with, but Bronco's very fluent in both language, English and Spanish, and a promo. Very good promo. Prince is a very intense guy. Even in his ring set, if you watch his final match on NXT, when he beat Lexus King, he was very physical manhandle. Those men bring physicality to the match, and they're brutal. Your NXT roster knows how physical those two gentlemen are. The main roster, Raw, you're going to enjoy their physicality because they're hard-hitting son of a guns. They remind you of Doom. Back in the day, if you're an old-school WCW fan, you know Doom. They remind you a little bit of APA. They are those type of those brawling type of monsters. Not like the Brawling Brutes. These guys are hard-hitting SOBs, and they're over 6'2" tall. So they're tall guys. They're not little Putians where their physicality is like, really? No, they're out there. Great. I don't mind it. I don't care if they feed them the Creed brothers early, because the Creed brothers are not going to be any slouch. They're going to put on a great match with OTM, and that's their debut, the welcome feud for them. I know they're going to be in the bloodline situation, but let's say they have a couple warm-up matches on Monday Night Raw to get the people acclimated and really get their shit in. The Creed brothers will be a good contestant, a group of two guys that OTM could really have some great introduction banger matches with physicality. And man, we're off to the races with OTM. Yes, the mouthpiece is Bronco. If they do not bring Jada Parker up, which they should, but let's say they don't underestimate Bronco on the microphone. That's all I say. Remember that from me when you say, "Well, this guy could really cut a promo." The guy could do it on there. One thing that I thought about cutting on the microphone talking segment was that Monday Night Raw with Paul Heyman coming out, bringing out both of the young men that's going to be set up for Sunday night's main event. The Ruler, Obafemi, and Braun Breaker, where a lot of people are skeptic on Braun. I love Braun Breaker, but Obafemi, they still push. I know I said this weeks before, and now it's stating traction. You heard it on Busted Open Mondays, that it seems like Big Brunson Reed is going to play into this some way, somehow. But first, let's talk about the segment of Monday Night Raw with the back and forth between Braun and Obafemi that led to some physicality and all that stuff. Did you like that?
Yes, it makes you thirst for these big beasts just to go ahead and put hands on each other, and it was a new dynamic for a contract signing. We usually see the same usual suspects when it comes to these contract signings. The same, the older main eventers, we always see them in these signings. So to see the younger guys get this type of respect in a contract signing with no title changing hands, this was good for the both of them. So I really did like it.
Yeah, I love the talking segment. Chris, my question to that talking segment for that there, Heyman, how is he playing a role in this?
He's it feels like almost they're fighting over him. It feels like Obafemi has, it feels like Obafemi has Paul Heyman, and then Braun Breaker's jealous, and he's like I want him. So I agree with Hoss. I like this segment. I wanted to see these two guys go at it for a long time, because you both know I said one time I feel like they're scared to push both of these guys at the same time on the same show. So they're going against each other. I like that. My only thing is this. I'm one of those people that don't like the contract signings that much, but I don't understand why they do them with no titles or nothing and no implication on the line. That is just a small, like Hoss says, small nitpick. I would have liked it if they signed the contract something related to Paul Heyman. Going back to your question, if the contract was give up the services of Paul Heyman or something, I don't know. I feel like the contract, they could have used that to actually make it mean something, but it was still a really good segment, and it feels like Braun Breaker's just jealous that, okay, Paul Heyman, he sees what he's done with Brock Lesnar. Maybe he wants to be alongside him.
I asked this question. Get.
I'll say this: Paul Heyman's the reason he's here. I think Paul Heyman is the closest thing to a heel authority figure in this business with the WWE. So Braun Breaker is basically appealing to the higher ups in the WWE, like, hey, I'm that guy. It ain't even just Paul. Paul Heyman is just a physical embodiment of that. They're basically saying, man, I run this company. It's going to be me. That's Braun Breaker being the petulant child, like, hey, it ain't him. Y'all been invested in me first. He can wait. I'm the one that had the Intercontinental title. I'm the one you did on Unreal talking about it was gonna be me stuffing you down your throat. It was me. He's the little brother that's like the older brother gets all the accolades. Like, no, it's me. It was supposed to be me. So I think that's the Paul Heyman is just that physical embodiment of like, hey, you forgetting about me. You forgetting about me. That's all this is about.
The way I see it, Paul Heyman, what is he when you what is Paul Heyman? He's a heel. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to like him. You're not supposed to, people like to just say things along with, my name is Paul Heyman, and he gets mad and he zings the crowd. You don't want to do that with Obafemi, where Paul Heyman aligns himself. That's why I keep bringing it up. Big Brunson Reed is anytime returning at any moment. And I can see where Obafemi kind of drops his guard a little bit with Paul Heyman, thinking he's an ally, an advocate. He did it for Brock. Brock endorsed me. They're putting him, they're kind of, hey, look at here. Meanwhile, the knife is coming right to the back. The knife is coming right to the back because you're looking at the hand, you're looking at this and that while you're being entertained with Paul Heyman, showing respect. But then Paul has that knife. That's why I think Big Brunson Reed returns on Sunday night's main event. And I think he crosses Obafemi, and I think Braun wins. And then you see the hug between Braun and Brunson Reed and Braun Breaker. I don't know what that means with the vision. I don't know what that. Maybe Braun blasts the current vision, and then he drops the title, and they have a tournament. I don't know. I don't know if that's for them to cross that line. That's maybe too convoluted, but it makes more sense and Obafemi gets, and I still think Braun and Oba gets that sympathy, even more sympathy, because this is where the wrestling fan is very hypocritical, very hypocrites. Maybe was it when was WrestlePalooza? We're going to talk about that in a minute too. WrestlePalooza was last year. This is going to be the first.
September.
It's not even a year. It's going to be a year and a couple of days. All right. This time last year when SummerSlam ended, the toxicity of the internet fans about Brock Lesnar returning to WWE. Mother effer out of here. I don't like this guy. I don't want this guy. This kid's piece of crap. No, I'm going to stop watching WWE. But now everybody, Brock Lesnar says, I was the past and this is the future. Now everybody's, yes. What Brock Lesnar is saying is gold. It's gospel. Before, this guy couldn't even say a word, and they didn't want to hear from him. They want him to get the hell out. They wanted him dead. They wanted him existed out of reality into another dimension. Now he says a couple words, and now everybody thinks it's gospel. No one's questioning that?
I follow where you're going. I get it.
I hear you.
I agree. Now that's why I'm not, just because a flavor of the month rose and the bread and the yeast on Obafemi's bread is rising. Braun Breaker's already been cooked. I mean, not in a bad way. Braun Breaker's been baked and he's ready to serve on your sandwiches. This guy's just coming out of the oven and the levy just rose. So what's the big hoopla now? Because Brock Lesnar said, "Oh yeah, this bread is coming out with extra. It's going to be it has raisins in his bread." But meanwhile, Braun is ready to be carved up and given to you to consume in the sandwich. So I don't get it.
You would think the IWC would be against Obafemi for working with Brock Lesnar. Oh,
exactly.
Fuck you, Obafemi.
Where's the hypocritical? Where's the hypocrites?
I agree, because we talked about it at this time last year. I loved it. I wanted Brock. I popped.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you what the IWC is gonna tell you. They're gonna be like, "Well, he slayed the beast. He slayed the guy that I hate, and I love him for it. He's my hero."
It's scripted.
I know.
Lesnar allowed it.
You're right, but I'm telling you,
if he did, he would have allowed it to. He would have had Gunther done it.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Exactly, because everybody had Gunther slated for that task. I don't know. That's gonna work for me. Exactly. Hypocritical. That's why I say the machine, whoever they want to heat up, whoever they want to push, whoever they want to put to the top, they'll do it. And then you know what? And again, you're going to like it. I'm going to like it.
Yeah. I mean, look at LA Knight.
There you go.
They heated him right back up. Yeah. Look
exactly.
Look at Kevin Owens. Heated him right back up.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And for anything particular that we saw on Monday Night Raw that we don't want to leave out.
One more thing, Cam. I give him another example. I'm gonna tell you of the biggest reheating that no one's even talking about. Finn Balor has been heated up so heavy nowadays because he used to be the guy that used to eat every pin. Now Finn Balor is one of the hottest names on Friday nights.
That's why I say when the machine wants to heat someone up, whether they're reheated nachos or not, they're going to feed you it. They're going to give it to you, and you're gonna say, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" Mm-hmm. That's why when you say, "I don't want to work," this person is buried. Bullshit. They could reheat anyone, or they lose a match. They lose a match at any given time. Relax. They could reheat if they really want to push someone. Like what they're going to do. Watch Damian Priest be one of the hottest commodity if he wins the Latin American title. He's going to get pushed. He's going to be, oh damn, Damian's back up there. It's just you know what? Not everyone could always be on the top of the mountain. Well, take a little bit of step. We're going to get you back. Trust the process. Sometimes they don't go back. Sometimes they don't go back to it because they feel like something else is stronger or better at the moment. Yes, I get it. There's a lot of times where they have dropped the push or the ball on certain people, but when they want to, they'll move heaven on earth to push who they need to push, who they want to push, and they're gonna make sure the machine's behind it. They're gonna really give you that extra push. Look, last night, I'll give you a case in point. Last night, Julia looked so great beating up Mike Monroe in the backstage. Shit, I want to see more. And that's the Julia we want.
I agree with you.
There you go. Case in point, machine wanted to push her there. They repackaged her. Oh, she's buried. Last night, you could see the tide has turned.
I do have a question for the both of you before we move completely away from Raw. I've been seeing a lot of contention about Stephanie Vaquer. You know, she came back, she returned on Monday night, and a lot of people are saying that she only gets reactions when she does the devil's kiss, and they say that this is the internet now. The IWC is saying that the Devil's Kiss should be removed from Stephanie's repertoire so they can show off her wrestling. I disagree because, not just because I Googled after the Devil's Kiss, I disagree. I feel like she's going to get crickets if she just goes out here and wrestles without that move. And a lot of people on the internet think differently. Well, these are the internet goblins, I'll say so. I want what say you two?
So you're saying that without Stephanie's Devil's Kiss, nobody would give a shit about her wrestling?
Yes, that's what
I
exactly
agree with
what
you
I'm saying.
100%. I agree with you 100%. She's a great wrestler, but let's be honest. Does she get any pop in the ring other than when she gets that move going?
She'll be getting Julia responses.
Yes, I agree. I agree with Hoss.
What's
I'll add this. Rikishi. What has he really thought about? When you think about Rikishi in the ring, what do you remember?
Stink
face.
And dancing with Too Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Before that, he was Kwang. He had a couple of gimmick persona. You don't remember anything from his wrestling moves. Maybe a super kick. Maybe. You don't remember. But when you see Rikishi and you remember that, it's the stink face.
Yes.
Devil's Kiss belongs to her. She made that popular. That's her niche. I have no problem with that. If she would have gotten over with it, it's not our fault that got over. It's not her fault. You shouldn't penalize and get her and mad with her for getting that shit over. Because I think people have done that. I think Charlotte used to do that before, and no one cared about. When you see a beautiful brunette, Latina brunette like her doing that, and let's face it, her assets really was giving it the extra caveat. And Booker T going, the way Booker T sold it. That's what commentary. That's what commentary is a big. It's a friend. That's why, boy. And I hate, and again, take the bat out because this is going to be a reference with the Piss End Company. That's why you got to get Tony Schiavone the fuck out of there. You got to get Tony Schiavone out of there. You got to get the guy who changes every wrestling move in Excalibur out of there, and put some really strong, innovative broadcasters
They
to
have
get shit over like a
commentary
Booker T.
team in pro wrestling.
Hey, Corey Graves has gotten great. You can see Michael Cole is on his back nine, but he's feeding off of Corey Graves and so forth. And Wade Barrett is great. Tessitore, we could have that conversation about it. I'm not a big fan. But that's just me. That's just me. That's just my point.
I got the bet out for you, but I agree with every point you just said. Schiavone does suck. He doesn't get anyone over. I agree with you.
He gets more wet about this is a great match, guys. Oh my god, this is the greatest man. These are the great. Oh my god, what a match!
Andrade's so cool. He's so cool.
What a match! I got my adult diapers and I'm good. Yeah. My point is the storytelling and the commentators really tell a story. That's why I always go back to my childhood with Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. They were hilarious with all the stuff. Go look at the barbershop. If you want to look on one of those references where you're going to be like, damn, the commentators really pushed over and made it hilarious and memorable. Not only him going through the significance of Johnny Jannetty going through the barbershop window by Shawn Michaels turning. Listen to the commentary about Bobby the Brain Heenan trying to say, oh no, Jannetty, that coward, he was throwing himself through the window. He wasn't. Shawn Michaels threw him through there. It was just, they're so deep. The storytellers on the commentaries make a big difference. And I think that's also what hurts All Elite. And I'm glad WWE shuffled things around because look, remember when Raw with Kevin Patrick was there? How much of it was like chewing tinfoil. And Burke.
Yeah.
At least Pat McAfee gave it taste when he got on the table and started doing and having a mangasm with Shinsuke Nakamura when he used to come out to the guitar. He added that flavor and that style where you're like, damn, Shinsuke is really he added a lot of, and that's why I say commentators, Chris and Haas, add a lot to the viewing and the talent's really going over as well.
But I'm just glad Stephanie did not start believing her own hype. Cause I remember one time she said, "I'm not just the Devil's Kiss." I'm like, I'm pretty sure Triple H took her to the side, just like, we're not gonna objectify you, but you need to keep doing that move. Like,
yes, yeah,
you get the social media engagement when you do that move. Like, you could think about it all you want, but this is getting you over.
Bingo, I agree. Bingo. Yeah, that's a good point. Good talking point. Great talking point on that when it comes to all that. When it comes to Monday Night Raw. I still don't know where we're going with the old women's title with Liv Morgan. There's a lot of things that we're not going to really touch on it because we've been on for 2.5 hours. We're going to leave a little bit here and there. We're just giving you the biggest, strong talking points of Monday Night Raw because we wanted to really emphasize on the go home show or the cards, giving our predictions. SmackDown some people liked it or not. To me, when I get in, and the same thing about TNA, the tape wrestling at this day and age, the way we have live streaming apps and a lot of apps, it's tough to get invested in something that's taped. I think that's a lot of things. By the way, I wanted to give a shout out to the MLW Files with Jeff Lippman and Mr. Thomas each and every Monday here on the Sports Jedi Network at 6 p.m. There, Fusion will be on in a couple hours. They will be recapping that episode. But here's the thing that hurts it. That episode was probably in the middle of May. They're going to, and they break it down professionally and they give you their unbiased, professional, great takes. But this is what hurts Major League Wrestling. It hurts TNA Wrestling at times. And you say, what about AAA? AAA sometimes as well, but it's only 1 hour. And at least they keep the storylines progressively going. It's not, and they normally don't have wrestlers that have not been with the company 4 months ago, and they're still debuting on the damn show on Tuesday, on either Saturday or Thursday nights. That's the only thing that hurts those. And we're hoping that in 2027, you got to be bi-weekly with live shows. It's tough you can't have a month off and expect us to really bite into it and get the ratings going, Chris.
It's going to hurt them this week. Monday Night Raw. We already know what happened with Monday Night Raw. We already know what happened with SmackDown, with who's fighting Punk next week. Let me ask you guys a question. Other than what the fuck's the review? Whatever. But if we do, what's the point of watching it? Are you guys going to go out of your way and watch wrestling next week?
I'll give you my answer.
No, let me say something. Specifically, Raw and SmackDown.
It's always going to be spoiled for you.
You know the two main things that have happened on the shows. Yes, you want to watch how it unfolds. I understand that, but you're not going to go in with that same, mindset. It's not fresh, or it's not fresh to you. You already seen what happened, especially the main stuff.
Let me ask this, Chris. Is it fair enough to say, "Oh, don't go to social media then if you don't want to be spoiled"? That's not fair, especially us. If you're a content creator, if you're a content creator and you want to, keep up on some news and notes or what calls for the business of wrestling and not of wrestling. If you're watching your favorite sports,
football starts this week. College football going right now.
And you want to know about injuries.
Yes, wrestling isn't the only fucking thing that people consume on social media.
Right, but they'll throw that at you. Well, we have the right to put it there. Just don't go to social media. No, have some respect. Have some respect for other people. To have some respect. Don't put the spoilers out there. If you were there at the show, God bless you. You were there early. You got a sneak peek. You saw that there. Put you know what? And I go, oh well, this is what we do. This is what I'm living. Put it in your website. Hey, if you and give the person an option. If you want to see the spoilers, click on my link to go to my web page or my blog and read the spoilers. Don't go copying and pasting and putting it out there, putting the pictures or putting the videos and people to see that. That's not cool. You're being a crap weasel. You're being a major crap weasel.
And Kev, it's very hard to avoid it anyway because we're at the mercy of the algorithms. When we open up our social media accounts, we are wrestling commentators. That's going to be the first thing that pops up in our algorithm. So there's really no way to avoid it.
Yeah, and that hurt it. I'll say this and I'll say it again. And I'm going to stick with it. Stand it. That hurt it. The reason why TNA didn't come back to Orlando, Florida. Because of that clown, Jacob Goldman, I believe it is, whoever that guy was, that posted the whole fucking show on tapings on X while it was happening. That was supposed to be taped for 2 weeks, 3 weeks on TNA. He posted the whole shit online. All right, and he goes, I didn't put the winners or the result, but you put the match and the match orders that was happening. Who was wrestling who that night? And that didn't even air for 2 more weeks or a week later, and you killed it. That left a bad taste in TNA, and they did not come back to the Orlando market. They had a chance after Tampa. They decided to go to different markets. And that's what hurts. That's hurt it. You took TNA from me enjoying it in my market because of that asshole. And you're an asshole. Okay. You're an asshole for doing that. And then I get people saying, oh, well, there's a right to say that. He didn't give the... You killed it. There's consequence. Your actions brought a lot of negative consequences. Yes, Orlando could have done a better deal but bringing people out there. But when you have that lack of people going, then you have people spoiling and going out of the way to ruin that market. We got screwed for not getting TNA at the end to 2026 in the Orlando market because of that clown that he did in Full Sail last year. This is the action of that rad repercussion. That sucks because I was looking forward, to go. Hey, yo, you got Tampa? Yeah, it's an hour and a half away. That's an hour and a half away. That's fine. I could go there. There's no issue. But still. When I had something that was 10, 15 minutes, and it's not just they don't book TNA for me either. I understand that. But there is a nice hotbed here in Orlando because Wrestle Dream is coming here. Revolution has been here before. There's been a lot of pay-per-views here. This is a good and a lot of them live here, and it's an easy commute, and it's a tourist city. You by that clown doing that, you screw TNA coming to Orlando. That's just and it sucks. Those consequences to those actions. Bad move. If you're a dirt sheet or you're trying to get into the spoilers and want to break that out, get a blog and have people join that, or your website, so people could go see those spoilers there and choose. Don't go putting it out there on the X on Facebook. Don't do that. You get your 15 minutes of fame, and then you could be labeled a crap weasel, and you could go fade away with your media.
There you go.
Yeah.
And by the way, congratulations by Elegance, who is your new Knockouts TV title. Check our review that we did on the Total Nonstop JEDI'S that we did, and we broke that down. We spoke TNA, and we got some great news coming up in a few weeks. Check out, we got some information that we might be having some interviews coming up and on our agenda, on the horizon for some TNA talent. So, as the road for Bound for Glory begins and build, we definitely want to see what's going to happen when it comes to Leon Slater. Does he win? There's a lot of future stuff. Yes, Clippers fans, Penta versus Ray Phoenix next week on Monday Night Raw. That was taped already, guys? Was that taped?
Yes.
I don't know who won. Please don't tell me who wins. Please, I don't want the spoiler. I want to see it fresh. Well, after I do the MLW show, I'll sit down and watch Raw. Hopefully, it kind of feels like a predictable tournament. Where it's going, but I want to see how they got to the victory. I've got to see how they got to the finish line between those two and everything on Monday Night Raw. This is I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch Friday Night SmackDown live. I took the dogs. My wife said, "Go on." I didn't want to, but I walked the dogs, and we went for a walk. And then we watched it afterwards. And I finished a series that I was on Netflix, and I said it's taped. I'll watch it, and I fast forwarded. It was a good one. There you go. I loved it. So thank you guys for that. Thank you, narrators, for doing your thing there. Appreciate you guys there. That's a great thing about it. And I thought this was a good. Let's see what's going to happen. This was a good week in professional wrestling. It did a lot of great stuff. Oh, and look at this. Aaron says that he highly recommends the Rev Pro show. Amazing show. More have been added to All In. So the card got updated. Aaron, if you more than kindly, if you can. If you're busy, we understand that. A little bit update on what's been added to the All In. Breaking news. Aaron Loves Wrestling. Got to check out his podcast. He's on YouTube, not on X. Taking a little break. It could be a lot of toxicity in the X realm. Also, you can find him on Instagram. So Aaron always shows up on Tuesday here on a Saturday afternoon. Always appreciate you. Real quick, because we want to get off the air. We want to go eat and do all that stuff. Anything to break that is All In added that's new. Chris, you want to retweet?
I don't see anything.
All right. Just saying, you might see some living legends tomorrow. Living legends.
Sounds like FTR to me.
Interesting. And look, All In is going to be great. You guys are going to enjoy your All In reviewing. I don't think you're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be bored. It's going to be a great Sunday afternoon for everyone that watches wrestling. If you're a huge Monster Wrestling fan, you're going to have your television. You're going to have your iPad, your all that stuff, all that there. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to consume it. You're going to be on YouTube. You're able to watch the AAA show. On the CW network, you'll be able to watch the NXT. And of course, you definitely watch All In on the pay-per-view. FTR is a new Rev Pro champion, so spoilers out there. Leon Slater was on that card. Yes, Leon Slater was on card. No Luke Menzies, huh? Where in the hell is Luke Menzies? Shout out to Luke Menzies.
He's getting ready for the Casino Gauntlet, bro.
There you go.
Good luck to our boy. Good luck to our Sports Jedi Network pundit there, Luke Menzies.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you this. Everybody, you don't do like the house, but do it safely. If you want to copy me, I will be doing a shot contest tomorrow. For all finishers that are kicked out of it.
Jesus Christ, dude! You're gonna get wasted.
Yes. So if you will copy, if don't copy the house if you don't want to do that. But if you want to join me on that endeavor, do not drive. Be very careful of what you do. Order in, get your Uber. Order Uber Eats. But I'm just telling you what the Hawks will be doing tomorrow. I'm going to do an experiment. I will be drinking to every finisher that is kicked out of All In. Hopefully I make it to the review at the end of the show, because something tells me I'm going to be drunk by match 3. So may the force
that main
be with
event's
me
gonna
on this
fuck
one.
you up.
Make sure you have 911 in hand and poison control as well.
I'm going to be out of liquor by the time the main event happens. I know this.
You better stock up tonight, because some counties and some places might not have not on dry Sundays, so everything closes.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a limit though. If it takes me over 20 shots, I'm going to switch to beer.
Wow. Shout out to the natural lights.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, this was a pleasure on a Saturday night, our weekly Jedi conversation, our Council of Professional Wrestling Man. I'm going to give it over to Chris. Plug your stuff, and we'll move on to Haas and so forth.
Yeah, we're ready, man. We're ready. Make sure you, again, like Kev said, check us out tomorrow. We got a long day of wrestling. We got a bunch of review shows. It's going to be a great day. I will be watching at least, of course, AEW All In, but I will be tuning into Heatwave as well. I'm curious to see what's going on there. But yes, enjoy your Sunday. Like Haas said, be safe. I will also be having my own fun during All In tomorrow, just not with the liquor. I'll take a shout out to Smoke Sessions. But yes, thank you guys for joining us here on a Saturday, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Haas, plug away, buddy.
All right, like I'm gonna piggyback on what my Dynamite bro Chris just said. Join us after All In for the review. Hopefully, I am coherent so we can talk about said things. And also, if you are looking for luggage, new backpacks for your children, if you're a teacher, if you're looking for new backpacks to lug your school supplies in, go to wolfpack.com, WOLFPAK.com. The promo code is BELLCOW, BELLCOW, Hoss, HOSS. And I'm telling you, it's for all your luggage, for apparel. They got shakers. They got shakers for protein powders, all this type of good stuff. Also got towels. Got towels right here when you're up here working out and you need to wipe your face. You can stack this into your Wolfpack backpack. Telling you, they got everything for you at wolfpack.com. Promo code BELLCOW Hoss for 10% off.
There you have it. Of course, definitely. Of course, don't forget, here on the Sports Jedi Network, we have a minor announcement. We're in the works here. We will be having a AAA recap review show. The details are there. We got a co-host. We're to be continued. It's in the works. We have that coming up. So AAA, we didn't leave you out of the loop. We're gonna get you in there. We got a AAA. We also got Mega Mets podcast. Of course, they'll be doing some NWA review. We got an NWA pundit that's going to do a little of that. You see the Mega Mets do the watch alongs, a little New Japan, Noah, all that stuff there. So the Mega Met podcast will be now doing a little NWA coverage and so forth. We got, of course, don't forget MLW coverage with Mr. Thomas, of course, the Godfather of the Boom Fight Club, as well as the one and only Dos Evil, Mr. Lippman. They'll be breaking that down on Mondays at 6 o'clock. Everything MLW fusion, MLW related, and some other good stuff there, some fun stuff. I'm having a fun time in the backstage listening to Mr. Thomas and Mr. Lippman. Two best friends. One knows that he's a best friend, one doesn't. Talking about MLW. I love that dynamic that those two have. They've been a blessing to this channel, getting to know them. And also Jeff Lippman with all the Garden of Thoughts, the Out of Character podcast, part of the Padawan Awakening podcast with me and Haas. We continue to grow tonight. There is the PWF Saturday Night Wrestle Talk. So they'll be breaking that down. The guys from the podcast of Unappreciative Wrestling Fans, they'll be on. You know their work from the Evolve Effect, the Evolve with the PWF. They the number one and number two podcast when it comes to Evolve, WWE Evolved. And don't forget the MLW, the number one podcast all across the internet is the MLW Files. So I wanted to put them over as well, those gentlemen, as well as the PWF, NXT Time with D-Walk, and many more program coming up that we'll be having. Don't forget, got to get Austin back on to the MML Octagon report. We haven't heard that there. We got football coming up. We got an NFL draft that we got going on for the Sports Jedi. We have our own draft. We're going to be talking some more football. And we had the Jets and Giants finish off the preseason. A big victory, a blowout victory for Haas's Browns over the Patriots. Man. And of course, Steelers wrapping up, and they're running into form to start off their regular season. Look, all eyes opening kickoff coming up in 2 weeks for Sundays. And Steelers, could they win their division? We'll break that. You got to follow PGH Chris to hear his takes on the Steel Curtain Nation there with PGH Chris talking Steelers, and of course Brown Nation with Haas. And here the Jets Alorian with the Jets. Expect the worst and hope for the best when it comes to the Jets. And of course, Chef Dan's Giants report on that there. So with that said, man, enjoy you the rest of your Saturday afternoon. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you next time. Hit that notification, like button if you haven't followed us. And we'll see you, man. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Aaron. We love Rams. Jeff, everyone that joined us in the chat. Buenas tardes. See you next time.
It's still real to me, damn it. Thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all guys. You're awesome.